Well, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of Alberta at PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, it is Tuesday, and that means Lotto Max. Good opportunity for you to get your tickets at playalberta.ca. $30 million up for grabs. Good luck at playalberta.ca. We have lots to discuss on the show. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers. That's a game you can't lose against the Buffalo Sabres last night. That's that is, to me, that's one of the more disappointing losses of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. To me, you've got to find a way to win that game, and the Oilers need to be, I feel, just more dialed in at key moments of the game, and it's not good enough right now. It's just it just isn't right. You can say it's lucky when you hit some goalposts. And then other times it's like, so people, I'm sure, I already got text about it. Oh, what about Stuart Skinner? So Stuart Skinner makes a save, didn't handle the rebound, right? He went to bring it in with his stick. Didn't happen. Now, I don't think I've seen him allow a goal like that all year long. He's allowed a goal that you didn't like on his glove hand. You didn't like over his pad. Sure. I don't think I've seen him make a play like that. But here's the thing. So everybody will freak out. How is that? So he made the wrong play. He didn't handle it well. He had the rebound, didn't cover it. Okay. How is that any different than Connor Brown having a wide open net from 3 feet and hitting the goalpost? Wow, hit the post. What are you talking about? It cost a goal. It cost a goal. So if you don't like that a player went to cover a rebound and didn't cover it cleanly, well, that's grossly egregious, but hitting the post on a wide open net from 5 feet? Well, that's okay. I'm sorry, it isn't. And this has been a problem. The Oilers' offense, how many forwards of their 12 right now? I'm not going to include Jones because he's only played a few games. So look at the other 12 forwards on the Edmonton Oilers at 5-on-5 this year. How many of them are having even top half of their career type season? Out of 12, you want to guess how many out of 12 are having even what we'd call an average season, right? So if you have your best production is 20 goals, and then an average one for you 4 or 5 years is 14. How many Oilers do you think out of 12 forwards are having even an average season goal scoring wise 5-on-5? How about 3? Any guesses, Connor, on the 3 forwards who are having an above average season 5-on-5 in goal production?
5-on-5, Draisaitl?
Yep.
McDavid? No, not going to go with him. Hyman?
Yep.
And the final one, Corey Perry?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Those are the 3. Now, you mentioned McDavid. McDavid's having the worst season of his career. Now, he's got a really high bar. I get it. But he is 10th out of 10 years in goals per 60 and points per 60. Okay? Corey Perry, he's played 18 years. Corey Perry is a fossil by NHL standards. It's his 18th season. This is his 3rd best goals per 60 of his career. Good for him. Jeff Skinner, it's his 15th season. This ranks 10 out of 15. 1 being the best, 15 being the worst. He's 10th. Nugent Hopkins, 8th out of 14. Adam Henrique, 12th out of 14. Arvidsson, 8th out of 10. Matthias Janmark, 9th out of 9. Connor Brown, 6th out of 8. Kapanen, 6th out of 8. Podkolzin, 3rd out of 3. So you got some guys having their worst year. Other guys in the bottom 25% of their career when it comes to goals. And the crazy part is that the Oilers as a team are 7th in 5-on-5 scoring. 7th. Now, Draisaitl leads the NHL in 5-on-5 points. He's having a hell of a year. He's got 49. The only year, actually, that he was slightly better was when he won the Hart Trophy in 2020. Fully deserving of it. It's probably why he's going to win it again this year. Right, Zach Hyman, it's third in goals, but eighth in points. You'd like a little more from him. There's no question. Right, there's lots of guys. And so when you go into Buffalo and you score 2 goals and everybody freaks out about the goalie, I think you're missing the plot. Are there other games you want to blame the goalie? Sure. It's not every game because it's lazy and you're not watching the entire game unfold. One missed rebound control is not any worse than missing a wide open net, hitting the goalpost, right? Or being in a great shooting lane in the slot and deciding to try to pass through 6 skates and nothing happens again. Or skating back for a puck and getting beat, losing a foot race, right? Or serving up a grenade that led to the foot race. Thinking that it's one player, when you lose to Buffalo, it ain't one player, right? The Edmonton Oilers scored 2 goals again in Buffalo. The 30th ranked team in goals against on home ice for the last 10 years. And you score 2 goals again. It's not good enough. This team still isn't focused to the level they need to be in all areas. Not just one, in all areas. That's a game you should win. You came out, yeah, you generated lots of good chances, but at some point, you got to finish. And I think now it's going to be up to the coach, Chris Knobloch. He's got to look. His job is to find a solution. He can't just keep doing the exact same thing. Oh, let's put McDavid with Draisaitl when we're down a goal because that's going to solve every problem. Okay? You got to come up with something different. I'm sorry. You can't just always go to the same thing every time. Okay? Can't do it. It's easy. But the easiest thing isn't the right thing. Look for some other options. Try something different. Right? That Hyman, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins line isn't close to as productive as they were last year. Right? They're not on the same pace at all. And if you look at it, like they're outscoring teams by 2. Like Connor McDavid himself 5-on-5 is being outscored on the season. Okay? But that trio has outscored the opposition 14-12. And oh, by the way, if you're going to, oh yeah, but it's bad goaltending. No, his expected goals against is 11.7. It's basically the same. Expected goals to actual goals against. Okay? Their goals per 60 last year were 4.37. This year it's 2.67. I'm just talking offense. Don't blame the goalie for everything unless you think the goalie should now lead to more offense. That somehow they're stifling the offense. 4.37 down to 2.67. Their expected goals for, so if you say, oh, it's just bad luck. Well, their expected goals for is 3.37. It was 4.39 last year. Pretty big difference. Right? They got a lot of guys who are not performing. Stuart Skinner's one of them, but he sure as heck isn't the only one. And when you score 2 goals against Buffalo, give me a break. Like to constantly just blame them. No, that's your job, is to score goals. You're an offensive player. That's your job. Got a wide open net and you got to hit the goalpost? No, it's not acceptable. That's your job. When the goalie misses a rebound, you freak out. Guy missed a backhand. Jeez, it's hard to hit the empty net. Oh, you don't think stopping a puck's hard? What's the difference? You got a wide open net. What's the difference? Please help me understand. What's the difference? People just brush it off. It can't be brushed off. That's attention to detail. That's doing your job. When you got a chance to get the puck out of the zone and you don't, and 30 seconds later into the back of your net. Well, why? Because you didn't get it out when you had a chance. Right? Power play against the Buffalo Sabres penalty kill. You had numerous opportunities. Well, let's just pass it around the outside. Tic-tac, not a shot. Tic-tac, not a shot. Ooh, it's fun, though. It looks good. Give me a break. Like, that is a terrible loss last night to the Buffalo Sabres by that group. And now it's the coach's job. He's got to change some things up. You can't just say, well, you know what? We'll keep Nugent Hopkins there. If it doesn't work, then we'll switch him and Draisaitl. Rinse, wash, repeat. It's not changing anything. It's not improving. You're not getting guys out of their funk. So figure something else out. Now, so I looked and said, okay, what are realistic options? Now, Adam Henrique would be an option. Now, Adam Henrique did play a grand total of 26 minutes with Connor McDavid last year in the regular season. 26. Now, they scored a mind-numbing 6 goals in that time. It's crazy. 26 minutes, 6 goals. Probably not sustainable, but still really damn good. They outshot the opponents 17-12, outscored them 6-1. Now, they did play 60 minutes in the playoffs. Goals for against were 3-3, and but they got outshot 31-27. So it wasn't dominant. It was okay. Now, this season, they've only played 10 minutes together, and they've outshot the opposition 1-0. It's nearly not a sample size. And really, 26 minutes last year isn't a big sample size to say, hey, I think that's repeatable. Right? You look at their playoffs, which is obviously harder to play against. You're playing better teams. I understand that. And it was decent. So, but it's an option to try because it's not like Henrique and Brown and Janmark have been crushing it as a trio. Right? They haven't been. Actually, Nugent Hopkins, when he plays with Brown, even without McDavid, they've had some success. So maybe you try it as a coach. Then I looked at faceoffs. Well, Adam Henrique's a pretty good faceoff guy. Well, Nugent Hopkins 5-on-5 because his power play and penalty kill numbers don't change depending on who he's playing with 5-on-5. That's irrelevant. So I only looked at 5-on-5. Well, at 5-on-5, he's 50.7% in the dot. Henrique's better. He's at 55. Sure. So now if you want to put Henrique out for the odd defensive zone faceoff, take defensive zone faceoff, put Nugent Hopkins on the wing for a bit, you could do it. Right? We see it all the time. Draisaitl used to take some faceoffs and he quickly make a change. If you win it, way you go. So you could do that. Heck, you could even try Kasperi Kapanen because Kasperi Kapanen has actually had decent numbers, very limited, but he's played 70 minutes with McDavid without Draisaitl because they played together. So I'm always trying to do this without Draisaitl so they get away from always going back to McDavid, Draisaitl. And in 70 minutes, Kapanen and McDavid, they outscored the opponents 4-3. And they outshot him 39-31. So decent. Now, I know he's a right shot. So it's not your perfect left winger, but guys play their off wing all the time. Defensemen do it. You could try. Kapanen can really skate. He's fast. He can get on a forecheck. So you could try it if you wanted. Then you could put Nugent Hopkins with Henrique and Brown, and you could have Janmark, center, Jones, and Perry. You could do it. It's an option if you wanted. Now there's Corey Perry, who at 39 years of age is having a hell of a season. He's having a great year. He's probably overachieved, I think, anybody's expectations of what he would do this year. Good for him. Now, him and McDavid have only played 43 minutes without Draisaitl. They're 3-3 in goals. They've outshot 25-23. I don't think, Corey Perry to me is a stopgap in certain times of the game. And he'll play there sometimes with McDavid and Draisaitl, sure. But I don't think Corey Perry can log the minutes that McDavid logs 5-on-5. So you're going to end up switching your line all the time. So I don't think it's a realistic option. Now, Jeff Skinner, the other option. Now, him and McDavid have played 64 minutes together this year. It didn't go well. They got outscored 8-1, were outshot 38-31. Now, granted, a lot of those minutes came in October. So I understand that. The Oilers were grieving. Still, their Stanley Cup loss, it wasn't great. I understand. But they got pumped 8-1. And Skinner actually, in the month of October when he scored more away from McDavid than he did with McDavid. So I'm not certain that Skinner's really the complement for McDavid. You know, he likes to hold on to the puck a little bit longer. That's fine. That's his game. Right? But the one area is coming out of the defensive zone. He doesn't move it as quick as Nugent Hopkins. And that's the one time you want to get McDavid the puck in flight through the neutral zone with speed. Right? Because most goals in the NHL are scored off the rush. 5-on-5. Right? That's where the majority of goals come from. So I want somebody who's going to get the puck quick to McDavid. It's a skill set. It is. And I'm not sold at that Skinner skill set. And to ask the coach now to kind of change everything he's done all year, I guess I could do it, but I'm trying to be realistic here. I don't think he's going to do it. Now, Henrique, I think he's the realistic option. Heck, I might even try Kapanen. Right? I really would. You could do it. You can play Nugent Hopkins and Henrique at center if you want, or you can put them together on the third line. Now, when Trent Frederick comes back, you have other options. He can be another center iceman if you want. He can play left wing if you need. Although if I'm playing him on the left wing, I'm playing him with Leon Draisaitl. Right? God love Podkolzin, but he's not a finisher. Frederick's more of a finisher. But I think the coach has to look at something here because there's too many forwards, 9 of 12, who are below average, just to their average. Below average seasons. And some of the cases, like worse seasons. Now, I know that 95% of the league would love to have McDavid's numbers. No question, right? He's still 12th in 5-on-5 scoring. Good, but he's 50th in goals. And I'm focused on goal scoring. They need more guys to finish. So they're not awful, as I said, because they are 7th as a group. But a lot of that is because from 3 guys in Draisaitl, Hyman, and Perry. And that's where the issue is. You need more guys going. And the coaches, it's not his fault players aren't producing, but it's his problem. And it's his responsibility. And he needs to look at trying to, because you can't always go to Draisaitl. And by the way, I did break down McDavid's numbers. So here they are. So he's played 435 minutes with Nugent Hopkins. Now he's played 1,015 minutes 5-on-5. So he's not even playing 50% of his minutes with Nugent Hopkins, right? 435 with Nugent Hopkins. They've outscored teams 20-19. Their expected goals for is 21.9. Expected goals against 16.3. So fairly close. It's not like they're, just snake bitten offensively. They scored 20. Their expected goals is 21.9. It's not crazy difference. 374 minutes with Draisaitl. They've outscored teams 26-18. Their expected goals, 26. Expected goals against is 14. Sure. But if we're talking offensively here, they're basically what you'd expect, which is okay. But honestly, for McDavid and Draisaitl, usually they're scoring more than is expected because they're higher skill players than what the formula goes. The formula doesn't rank Leon Draisaitl shooting it differently than it does Connor Brown. It should, but it doesn't. So keep that in mind. So for those guys to just have 26 goals while their expected goals is 26, it's not effective enough. Now, the 206 minutes without either of them, they've been outscored 18-6. Not great. Their expected goals is 9. They've scored 6. Not a huge surprise. Less skilled guys. Now, their expected goals against is actually 10. They've allowed 18. So, they're fourth line guys. I'd have to go back and look at, goaltending's maybe a factor there. Is it some plain grit guys who outmuscle you? Who knows? But the actual goals for is what I'm focusing on today. They kind of are what they are. They haven't been exceeding it, which I think for that talent, that to me isn't good enough. So I would look at, okay, 97's not having an awful year, but by his standards, and that's all we can go off if we're going fair, by his standards straight up, 10th in goals for per 60, 10th in points per 60, 5-on-5. This is his 10th season. So by his standards, he wants to do more. Right? He's got to shoot more, no question. But can you get someone else there and not Draisaitl? It can't be Draisaitl. Right? For the betterment of the team, it needs to be somebody else. So we'll take your thoughts, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text or you can call. Want to voice what would you do? They got to practice. Today's a day off. They got a practice day tomorrow. You've got 18 games left in the regular season. Or 17. 18. You can always go back to Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid. You can always go back to it. And that's fine. Like, it's not bad. It's not as good as it was last year. So why not try something just to see? Maybe something else clicks. Because I think it would be stubborn to just remain status quo. So 833-401-1440. You can text us or you can call us. We'll get to all your thoughts when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Saturday nights were made for WHL Hockey in Ice District. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
And this Saturday, your Edmonton Oil Kings square off with their Eastern Conference rivals, the Prince Albert Raiders. The Oil Kings will wear vintage specialty jerseys just for this matchup that'll be auctioned and raffled off after the game.
Plus, at every home game, score Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Prince Albert Raiders.
This Saturday night at 7.
Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca. This is going to make you hungry. Booster Juice just dropped new guacamole and black bean grilled fresh options.
What the what?
Yeah, a guacamole black bean wrap, guacamole chicken panini, and an egg and chipotle black bean wrap.
What a trio! Holy guacamole!
Bye-bye, boring as bread sandwiches.
Guac, yeah! New flavors, new cravings.
Avocado up to wraps and paninis from Booster Juice. Canadian-born blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Mr. Ruther checks off his bucket list.
Skydiving is tops on my list.
I want to go to Bali.
What's at the top of your bucket list, Mr. Rooter?
Definitely the Rubbermaid H2864R. It has 14 quarts of capacity with a spill-free pour spout and a corrosion-resistant handle. Wow, what a bucket.
You know that a bucket list isn't a list of nice buckets, right?
I do. That's how good this bucket is.
For a plumber with buckets of plumbing passion, call Mr. Rooter.
Introducing the new McSpicy from McDonald's. It looks like a regular chicken sandwich, but it's actually a spicy chicken sandwich. McSpicy. Consider yourself warned. Limited time only. Participate in McDonald's in Canada.
There's one. And another. No, not spring flowers yet, but rather huge deals. It's GMC's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick. Nab 0% financing up to 72 months on our most popular Sierra half-tons, or massive discounts starting at $8,000. Choose your truck from a great selection, like the fabulous all-new Canyon, right up to the trailer-hauling Sierra HD with the industry-leading Duramax diesel. Spring into Wolf GMC Buick today and snag your truck, and see the savings at wolfgmcbuick.com.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for a restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations in Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, and Leduc, and start waking up refreshed.
From coast to coast, Napa Auto Parts is here to keep your car running longer and stronger, Canada. Did you know that Napa Auto Parts has close to 600 stores throughout Canada and over 90 years of history? Napa offers a wide range of quality replacement auto parts, accessories, supplies, tools, equipment, and proudly keeps Canadians moving day in, day out. With over 85 locations in Alberta, stop into your local Napa store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Doesn't it warm your heart to know your bank deposits are helping fund a financial corporation? Us neither. That's why Vision Credit Union invests member deposits and profits back into the community through loans, mortgages, and profit shares. We also support our rural Alberta communities through sponsorships, volunteering, and contributions to local charities and bursaries. Vision Credit Union. We see banking differently. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Portions of the Tower brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
227. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can always get involved. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars. Edmonton, come celebrate the March showroom event, the biggest sale of the year. You can lease XC60s, XC40s, XC90s, plug-in hybrids, anywhere from 1.49% up to 1.99 with big savings at Volvo Cars. Edmonton, we got a lot of text to get to, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And you look at the orders last night and really on the season. And that's why I tried to break it down for the whole year, that you have of the 12 regular forwards. Now, I don't include Jones in this because he's only played a few games in Edmonton. It's not, he doesn't have a big enough sample size. And I'm taking out the Derek Ryan, although his obviously were lower. I didn't include Matt Savoy, hasn't played enough. Didn't include Noah Philp, hasn't played enough. So I'm using the guys that are here. And of those 12 forwards that are here, excluding Jones, obviously Trent Frederick, we don't include. He hasn't played a game yet. 9 of them are well below their career average when it comes to 5-on-5 production. And that's a problem, right? It's a big problem. So we'll see if Knobloch does anything. But when everybody not named Corey Perry, Leon Draisaitl, or Zach Hyman, and I'm not talking just like average, because let's say if you've played 8 years, then average would be your, your 4th or 5th best season in goal production 5-on-5. Well, Jeff Skinner is 10 out of 15. Nugent Hopkins is 8th out of 14. Henrique, 12th out of 14. Arvidsson, 8th out of 10. Janmark, 9 out of 9. Brown, 6 out of 8. Kapanen, 6 out of 8. Podkolzin, 3rd out of 3. McDavid, 10th out of 10. So it's not great. Usually you want to be a 10 out of 10, but not in this situation. When we're ranking from 1 being the best, 10 being the lowest, that's where McDavid's at in his 5-on-5 production. Goals per 60, points per 60 in his career thus far at 5-on-5. Now, like I said, most guys would do cartwheels over a season like McDavid. He's 12th in scoring 5-on-5. He is 50th in goals. He needs to score more, right? Like for a guy who has the puck that much, you need more goals. You just do. That's part of the job. I think he'd be the first one to say it. So, hey guys, personally, I'd put Skinner up. He's one of the only guys who's been scoring lately. If Knobloch isn't willing to do that, play Henrique on McDavid's wing. Man, Frederick can't get healthy fast enough. Any idea when he's coming back? John. Well, John, he has yet to start skating with the other guys. Like Ekholm is back skating in Edmonton. Kane skating in Edmonton. Frederick has yet to skate with them. Skinner, yeah. At this point, I guess, you know what? I probably couldn't even be that opposed to it. To say, well, why not try? Because what you're doing isn't working. Now, I outlined their numbers, and their numbers together were awful. Granted, small sample size, only 64 minutes, but when you get outscored 8-1 in 64 minutes, that's, it's not good. So, and that was in October when Skinner actually, his numbers offensively were pretty decent then. Now, defensively, they're brutal, but his were good. Now, not with McDavid. Actually, away from McDavid, he actually scored more. So, he likes to have the puck more. So maybe he's better somewhere else. But if you want to try it at this point, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Now, do I think the coach is going to try that one? I'm not sold on that one. Hey, boys, I might be in the minority, but I'd pull out the old Mac Tavish blender for a few games. I'd play some guys who normally don't play with others. Just see what clicks. Maybe I'm wrong. From Tom. Well, Tom, at this point, it probably wouldn't hurt. Right? Because they do switch up at different times. Guys have played here 60 minutes with this guy, 30 minutes with that guy. So they've done it. You could probably do it if you wanted to. Because who knows? Maybe that'll jumpstart some guys. All I know is they have to find a way. Like, I get going to McDavid and Draisaitl together after a penalty kill. It makes sense. They've been sitting down for that long a time. They come back out the other team. You've got some momentum because you killed it off. Now you try to build on that by going with Hyman, McDavid, and Draisaitl. It makes perfect sense. I like them there rather than being on the penalty kill, to be honest. So I like that move. And, you do that. That's going to be on average 2 or 3 shifts a game. right? So they're always going to play, some minutes on a season. So if they just did that every game, that's probably an average of 250 minutes over the course of a season, right? So right now it'd be about 180. Now they've played about 350. So about double of that. So it's not a ridiculous amount of time that they've played together, right? McDavid's played about 34% of his ice time, 5-on-5 with Draisaitl, because of how they do it. And if you're down in the third period, you need a goal for the final 10 minutes. Okay. Makes sense to me. But going to it in the first period because you haven't generated anything, I don't like that. I think they have to get past that. And they could get past it if the McDavid line produced. Because make no mistake, Draisaitl's producing. He's producing with who he plays with. And not only is he producing, he's not getting outscored. Right? McDavid away from Draisaitl is getting outscored quite a bit this year, 5-on-5. It always used to be people would look at the number, wow, with McDavid. No, this year it's with Draisaitl. He's been that good. Great for him. So I think it's fair to say that McDavid can play better. We start there. He can play better. But then you move some other guys around. Hey, guys, I'd go McDavid, Hyman, and Henrique, Draisaitl with Frederick and Perry, Nuge with Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Ryan, Jones, and Brown. Check out how well Nuge has been with Podkolzin and Arvidsson from Brad. Well, Arvidsson and Podkolzin defensively haven't been bad. I like Corey Perry a lot, but I just don't think Corey Perry can be in your top 6 on a regular basis. I just don't think at 39 years of age, he has it in the tank to play that many minutes. Now, if you're talking playoffs, Kane. Now, you can't use Frederick today because, Frederick's at least 2 weeks away. So he doesn't solve our now problem. Down the road with you, I'm totally with you that I would like to see him in their top 6, especially because you got so many guys not producing. So I'd have no problem doing it. But I'd be willing to try Henrique because he's having a down season offensively. Him, Brown, Janmark, haven't been what they were last year. They're not awful, but haven't been the same, definitely offensively. Right. And the fact that they're not getting caved defensively just shows that they're decent defensively, but they're not, because they're not adding a whole bunch offensively. But when Frederick's here, I like his tenacity, I'll be honest. And I think that it'll be a welcome change. Now, Stan Bowman did kind of hint that maybe we'll see him at center ice, so we'll have to wait and see. Guys, it baffles me how they can look so good against Dallas and then crap the bed against a team like Buffalo. Dave from Stoney. Hey, man, great point. Well, I said it yesterday. It makes no sense why they can't play well in Buffalo. Like none. Hey, guys, I don't know if it matters. This team has been poorly constructed. I blame management. 10 years with McDavid, and we keep going through this crap from our F. Yeah, I think at times it's valid that, the Skinner Arvidsson for Holloway Fogle, if we just want to do that, because, it kind of looks like a trade. Fogle and Arvidsson switched teams, and then Skinner came in. They didn't match Fogle, match Holloway. Yeah, it hasn't panned out. That's totally valid. But if those guys were still here, would that change the production of McDavid, and would it change the production of the top line? Right? Like, I think I'm trying to focus on the fact that the top line, when they're together this year, hasn't been remotely as productive as they were last year in actual goals, in expected goals, and everything. Not as good. And so it's not on Fogle, it's not on Holloway, it's not on Arvidsson, it's not on Skinner. It's on those 3. Right? And Hyman's having an okay year. Right? Second or third best goal production per 60 of his career, right? Like, obviously he wasn't going to match last year. Last year was unreal. Like 36 goals, 5-on-5. There's only 2 guys in the salary cap era, Matthews and Stamkos, who have scored more. Heck, Ovi never scored more than 36 goals, 5-on-5 in one season. So, hey guys, McDavid doesn't shoot. A guy at the puck that much should be a top 5 shooter. He scored over 60 for once. Just got to stop playing cute and shoot. Stanzi. Hard to argue that, man. It is. It's hard to, and it doesn't mean that McDavid isn't good. He's obviously great. But this season, you know what? He needs to shoot the puck. Right? And it's right. For a guy who has it that much, he just needs to shoot a little bit more. So now Leon Draisaitl, here's the difference. Leon Draisaitl has fired 33 more shots, but he has 22 more goals. Right? So he's a more effective finisher, no question. But I would love to look at the numbers. I still think McDavid probably has the puck on his stick more. So yeah, I would like to see him shoot the pill more. No question. Like look at the year when he scored 64 goals. Well, he had 352 shots in 82 games. So, that's over 4 shots a game. Like he's not a sniper per se, where maybe he needs fewer shots to score. But this year he's got 179. Like he's almost down a shot per game. Now you get a half a shot or an extra shot every second game. That adds up over time. Especially when sometimes you're turning away good scoring looks. For sure. Hey guys, Kapanen, McDavid, Hyman. I said this a couple months. Podkolzin, Dry, Arvidsson, Skinner, Nugent, Perry, Henrique, Jones, and Janmark. So he has Brown out of his top 12. Hey, somebody's got to come out. So I get it. If you want to try it. So now Skinner and Perry's an interesting one to me. That's not a lot of speed on your wings. I'm not sure they would put him on the same line. We'd see about that, but hey, if you want to try Kapanen, man, I looked at his numbers. I'm not saying it's a long-term solution, but maybe for the short term, just try it. You never know. Hey, Gregor, you think there's any chance they'd recall Savoy? Would he solve the problem? Well, me personally, and this is only me, I'm not a big believer in hoping a rookie is going to fix my problems. So it wouldn't be for me. And I don't know if you saw the clip with Nathan McKinnon the other day. I saved it where he just said, hey, you don't win with young players. That might sound pretty harsh. And maybe it's a real gross generalization that obviously isn't 100% true. You can have some good young players for sure. Ask Cale Makar when they won. He was pretty good. But I think overall in general, there's probably some truth to that statement. So, because Matt Savoy, I could play him on the left side, sure. But I don't know. He's a right shot. If I'm going to play him, I probably, as a rookie, I'm going to put him in a better chance, especially defensively on the wall, to help get the puck out. So I don't know if Savoy would help the problem right now. But if they want to try to, at this point, there's very few things I'd be opposed to. Now, Skinner, Perry on the same line, I'm probably opposed to that just because I don't like I just don't like the speed there at that point. Hey, Gregor, is McDavid on pace to play the most 5-on-5 minutes of his career? Well, keep in mind, there is less power plays per game right now for the Edmonton Oilers, right? Like the Oilers as a team are third in 5-on-5 minutes. McDavid, well, he's at 17 and a bit. He was at 17 and a bit in 2019, right? Like playing basically the same. Now he's missed some games, so he won't match that as far as total minutes, because that year he played like 1,362 at 5-on-5. I got it pulled up, but yeah, he's a little bit higher than he has been last year. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's fewer power plays. And like on average, the Oilers are getting close to a minute less of power play time. So that's basically where the changes come. So, but I just look at his production per 60, not per game or anything, but per minute played. It's the lowest of his career. Like last year, he was at 3.5. He's at 2.24 this year. In 21, he was at 3.58. So, yeah, he can be more. Now, we're not talking a gargantuan difference here. I'm talking like 7-8 points. And it's not like, oh my goodness, he's terrible. That's not what I'm suggesting. Far from it, in fact. But, when you see the numbers, like last year he had 72 points 5-on-5 in 76 games. So he missed 6 games. He had 72 points. This year he has 38 in 58. So he was almost a point a game guy last year 5-on-5, 72 in 76 games. This year he has 38 and 58. Now, last year was unreal. It was his most productive season ever. But other years, 59, 58, 56, 64, 71, 63. He's got 38. And like on his current pace, he'd be about like 50, 51. So yeah, it's for his standards, it's quite a bit lower. And so I'm looking and saying, like, I'm not going to change McDavid, obviously, but why not try something different around him? That'd be my thought. We'll get to more of those. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Greg's, I never even thought of Kapanen. I don't mind that one. I like his speed. Why do you think the coach hasn't played Henrique there? It's a good question. And I'll be honest, I've never asked him. I might have to ask him when they come back from the road trip. What is it about Henrique? I think he likes Henrique more in a defensive, responsible role, and that's okay. But right now, why not try it for a few games? Because two things can happen. You can always go back to Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, McDavid, and I'd actually probably have no problem if they did. But what if you put Henrique up there for a bit and he gets a little offensive mojo? And then when he goes back to the third line, now he's got some more mojo. Maybe he can help them chip in a little bit more. I think that's a factor. Quick break. We'll return. It was a huge few days in NFL free agency. Which one of your teams? Connor Halley. Have the Chargers signed anyone, Connor Halley?
Yeah.
A punter?
Najee Harris.
Ooh, that's their big signing so far?
Yeah, it's been a slow news day for the Chargers. But lots of other players cashed in. Lots of other teams doing good things.
Yeah, they lost one of their best cornerbacks too, did they not? To KC?
He's okay. Christian Fulton, he's okay.
He's okay?
I wouldn't... 2 years is a good deal for him.
Yeah.
That was a good move by Kansas City. He's a functional cornerback, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Not elite.
All right. So we'll talk about winners and looters, who looks good on paper anyway. And why are people freaking out over Daniel Jones? Am I missing something? We'll get to all that when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertips. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
People are always curious about what GS Construction does. They know it's something to do with construction because it's in our name. But our work at GS Construction isn't just about the projects we do. It's about people. This season, you'll see GS Construction improving underground infrastructure in the places we call home. So we're looking for crew members to work with motivated and friendly team members. Sound like you? If you want to join a team that cares about the community, your community, visit gsconstruction.ca and apply today.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
Introducing the new McSpicy from McDonald's. It looks like a regular chicken sandwich, but it's actually a spicy chicken sandwich. McSpicy. Consider yourself warned. Limited time only. At participating McDonald's in Canada.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe in the wisdom of Patch Adams. Treat a disease, you win, you lose. Treat a person, I guarantee you'll win no matter what the outcome. We don't treat conditions, we treat people. From personalized treatment plans to compassionate care, we're committed to helping you achieve your goal. That's why hands-on techniques, unique technologies, and a commitment to hiring amazing people mixed with friendly, fun neighborhood environments. And ta-da! No, it's not magic. It's about being human. Sometimes being human hurts, but life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.246. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Quick one. Hey, Gregor, you sounded like they were awful last night. No, they're pretty good. Well, they weren't good offensively, though. They scored 2 goals again, right? And one of them was on the power play. So they scored 1 goal, 5-on-5, right? I mean, and I used all season-long numbers. 9 of 12 forwards are well below average for their career years. Well below. So last night, to me, is just another example of they don't finish. They got too many guys who don't finish. You don't win the game because you get chances. You win the game because you score goals. It's just that simple. And against a Buffalo team, like, I'm sorry. You got to score more than 1 goal, 5-on-5. And you had some great chances, and they didn't finish. If a goalie doesn't cover the rebound, everyone gets mad. Fair. Well, what about guys missing a wide open net, hitting the goalpost? It's not good enough. It's no different to me. It's no better of a mistake. That's just me. Let's get to our NFL report now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring HVAC installers and plumbers. You get a very competitive wage. You get the tuition reimbursement, RRSP matching, and even a signing bonus for the right candidate. Apply today at legacyheating.ca as we are joined by the host. You hear him right here on Sports 1440, Jason Smith from Fox Sports. And Jason, it has been a wild free agency start in the NFL. I do want to get to, I guess, let's start with the quarterbacks because obviously it's a pretty important position. What do you make of the trade for Seattle? Then they go to Darnold. Let's start there. Do you think it's an upgrade? Is it a downgrade? Is it even? What do you feel?
Okay, well, first let me say, never play that song again. I can't stand that song. And I know hashtag Brad Slater for Prime Minister put that in. Never play that song again.
I love it. You don't like that? I'm not a big fan of it either. That's fair.
Never play it. Look, I'm kind of meh on Darnold to Seattle because I felt like they sort of just found a way to maybe put yourself in a little bit better situation. Like Geno Smith the last 3 years has been better than Darnold just with the 1 year wonder, right? Geno Smith is dynamic. He makes plays, but he wanted a little bit more money than they wanted to give him. So they got Darnold for a little bit less money. Geno Smith's 34, even though he's kind of a young 34 because he had 10 years where he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, but still Darnold is 7 years younger. Okay. And they weren't going anywhere with Geno Smith. So now they're making a change and they're hoping, and hope is not a strategy. So I kind of feel like Seattle sort of has stayed the same team. And why are you trading DK Metcalf when you need weapons for your quarterback? Like, look, I get that Jackson Smith-Njigba has become the number 1 guy in Seattle. He is terrific, right? He's a target monster. But like, if you're spending all this money on a quarterback, why would you really just move out away from? I know we requested a trade, but you really need to figure something out here. Like, are you really trying to stay good now? Are you trying to compete? Are you trying to do everything? That's why I kind of feel like they kind of spun their wheels a bit and just said, well, we can feel a little bit better about the quarterback position now. It's like when you go to buy a car and you like this car, we're going to buy it, and the salesman keeps telling you, well, you get this and you get 3 free months of radio and you get this. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're making me feel better about this car, but I kind of wanted this car. Like, I kind of feel like that's what the Seahawks did, is like, yeah, we kind of feel a little bit better about ourselves about the quarterback position, even though did they really get that much better? I don't know that they did.
I was kind of, people are going crazy over a Daniel Jones signing for the Colts. And I'm just like, why? Like, what am I, like, I guess maybe there's some competition now between him and Anthony Richardson, but isn't it just bringing in more average to below average quarterbacking?
Have you seen the quarterbacks that are out there in free agency? You and I could go play for the Steelers right now. I don't know. Can you throw? Because I can throw short, but I can't throw deep. If you could throw deep, we can like flip flop the position. I go down the field. We need to take a shot downfield. You come in and throw it long.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that might work. Yeah.
But look, I mean, you can only have the best of what's out there, right? And the 3 best quarterbacks that were out there in this free agency period are Darnold and Justin Fields and Daniel Jones. And so some years it's better. Some years the quarterback position is better. In the draft, it's not a great quarterback year. So it's not like teams are saying, yeah, we're not going to go after this guy. We're going to wait and get our guy in the draft, right? Cam Ward's going to go early. Shedeur Sanders seems to be falling through the draft. And then you're talking about guys at the end of the first round, beginning of the second round, like Kyle McCord and Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe and Quinn Ewers. So this is the year to get that developmental quarterback. But to go get a guy to start, it's not there. So when you see the three quarterbacks, okay, suddenly they look a little bit better than they did a couple of weeks ago. And Daniel Jones, honestly, and I'll tell you this, if you're looking for one guy to be the Sam Darnold of this year, where here's a guy that everybody has cut bait on, no one thinks is any good, that can actually have a big season, Daniel Jones is a pretty good offense there in Indianapolis. They got four really good wide receivers, and they got a really good running game. And the division is really terrible. So this is a signing that, obviously he's got to beat out Anthony Richardson. And if he doesn't, that's also good news for the Colts, because they're also making this move to push Anthony Richardson. Okay, it's now or never for you. But this is a case where if he takes over, he has four receivers to spread the ball around to. This can be a really good year, man. I am kind of bullish on Daniel for some crazy reason. I am bullish on Daniel Jones with the Colts. It's got to be the right fit. It couldn't just be Daniel Jones anywhere. With the Colts, I kind of really like what he can do in that offense.
What about the Chicago Bears? We all know, hey, your quarterback's got to be good, but it's got a much better chance of success when you have a better offensive line around him. The Bears, I think, clearly have seen that. They've went out, via trade and free agency. How do you rank the Bears offseason thus far, and specifically their offensive line?
Oh, the Bears is at the top. The Bears, you hit it nail on the head. The biggest problem with Caleb Williams last year was the offensive line. Beginning of the year, he looked rough, like a lot of rookies do, and of course you're getting compared to Jaden Daniels because you guys went 1-2, and Daniels picked things up a little bit quicker. But watching Caleb Williams as the season went on, he was on a pretty good trajectory where the midway to 2/3 point of the season, he was going to start really getting it, figuring out the NFL and playing really well. And he was. And then the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, the offensive line just completely fell apart. He was getting hit before he even had the football. The center still had the football, and he was getting hit. That's how rough it was. And so the game, instead of slowing down for him, sped up. He had to rush his decision-making. And he's a guy that makes plays outside the pocket. When he's on the run, he throws tremendously accurately. This is what the guy does. And so that was a problem, and that was mainly what his regression was. So now that you've fixed the offensive line, because you can do that in one offseason, you can fix the offensive line, bring in 3 new starters in the interior offensive line, a couple of guys who are Pro Bowlers, one guy who's All-Pro. That's all you need. I'm expecting a huge leap for Caleb Williams and the Bears this year, because everything else they have the weapons on the outside, they're really good tight end, the running game is good. I'm expecting a big leap, a big breakout for Caleb Williams this year.
Jason Smith, host of the Jason Smith Show here on Sports 1440 from Fox Sports, joins us. So, Jason, who else so far have you liked their free agent spending?
Oh, I love what the Rams did. The Rams get, because you talk about free agency, this comes in the last week, not just yesterday, but what teams did to get rid of guys and make moves. The Rams bringing in Davante Adams, that is a Super Bowl favorite move. I have them even with the Eagles now for who the favorite in the NFC should be. They should have beaten them last year in the playoffs, quite honestly. But now you are replacing Cooper Kupp, who's kind of done, and they saw that. And now you have Davante Adams, who is still a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. With him on the outside and Puka Nacua on the inside, this Rams offense is going to be unstoppable. Last year, he changed teams middle of the year. He goes to the Jets, and in 11 weeks, he catches 80 balls or 800 yards and 7 touchdowns. Davante Adams is still legit. He's in the destination he wanted to be in. He wanted to come to Los Angeles. He had the Chargers and the Rams at the top of his list. This Rams team now, that's all they need was another weapon on the outside for Matthew Stafford. I love what they're at the top. I have them even with the Eagles. And now the Eagles, hey, they got some stuff to do too, because they're losing players. But that's what happens when you win the Super Bowl. Guys leave, you can't pay everybody. But the combination of the Eagles losing a little bit and the Rams adding Adams, they're co-favorites right now for the Super Bowl. I love them.
Look, what do you make of the Chiefs offseason thus far?
The Chiefs, this is kind of what it's going to be for the Chiefs, is that once you paid Mahomes, you realize that you kind of have to make things work a little bit where you kind of cut and paste, right? They do it every year. They remake their wide receiving core. Hollywood Brown is coming back. That's great, but he's coming off a year where he was hurt. The Chiefs seem to me like they're where the Warriors were in the NBA a few years ago, where you could tell the dynasty is over, but maybe because of Mahomes, because of Reed and the system they have, and Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the NFL, I could see a situation where maybe the back half of his career, they win one more Super Bowl. Things go well for them. They make the right personnel moves because they're making moves every offseason. Now, you can't sign guys to long-term deals. You just can't do that anymore. So, 1 year, could they make the right moves offensively and get better? Yeah, 100%. But I don't see that now. and the Chiefs at least are not overpaying for players that really that a lot of teams are overpaying for. I wonder if you get to a situation where Cooper Kupp gets released, they go, hey, let's go shopping in the bargain bin aisle, and let's go get Cooper Kupp. Let's get some guys that get cut that leave on Wednesday and wind up we don't have to pay a lot for. So this is kind of what it's going to be for the Chiefs. I wouldn't expect anything big. I wouldn't expect anything big for the next couple of years, but maybe they make the right moves at some point and they get back and win one more Super Bowl.
The Eagles, their secondary, they're moving on. That's what happens when you sign all the guys that they signed, but their main core is coming back. They should be very good. You cover the NFL very closely, Jay. Has there ever been thought, do you think having the draft first and then free agency afterwards would actually be better for the league?
Oh, that would be better for everybody except for the contracts the players are getting. They would say, no. We love getting overpaid because people panic and want to put the moves in. Look at the money that some of these guys are getting. Everybody is overpaid in free agency, but that's the game. That's the game now. I'm sorry that it's too much money, that you're spending money on guys that in a year you might want to get out of the contract, but that's how it goes. It's the first chance you get to fill your needs, and because that is, the money is free. Now, let's just say we did that, right? Because I love that idea, right? Let's say you had the draft first. Okay, teams would say, hey, we feel just as good about this fourth-round pick we got, out of Sam Houston State, who we think can come in, that flew under the radar, as we do of going out and spending 3 years and $30 million on a nickel cornerback, right? So suddenly that guy is not getting nearly the money he should get in free agency or normally would get in free agency and has to worry about latching on somewhere. So I think it works for everybody. They would say you see the salaries, they would all come way down. Maybe not for quarterbacks. The quarterback's always going to be a premium, but for every other position, yeah, they wouldn't nearly get the money they're making right now, and they like making a lot of money.
Oh God, yeah, okay. So I was just curious if that's ever been discussed. From a theoretic standpoint, it makes more sense. You know who you got draft, because I still think the teams would still, be oh my God, we didn't get the O lineman we wanted, we didn't get the D lineman we wanted, etc. They're still going to pay the guys, especially because they've got the salary cap keeps going up every year. They got so much money to spend. Like you're getting guys, getting paid. Like who the Jacksonville tight ends got signed. He's got like a career 36 catches. And he's making, I can't remember, what is he making, $8 or $9 or $10 million a year? Like, I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah,
even if you, even if you draft someone else, he's still going to get paid. It's nuts.
Oh man, I tell you, and you're right, because it's just going to get bigger because the salary cap's going to go up every year, which is good for teams, because I know, if you get stuck, you are stuck for a while, right? It's like, okay, if you get stuck after a bad year of free agency, if the cap doesn't keep going up, you have 2 years until you can really spend again. So that's a really bad message. So you need the cap to keep going up. I just would like to see there to be sort of like a separate cap or cap where you can take into account your quarterback versus the rest of your team. Because quarterbacks, you see them. I mean, by the time we get to 2030, there's going to be a quarterback making $100 million a year, right? It's going to happen, right? We're so close to that already. So to do that and say, well, you pay a quarterback, nobody else can get paid. You can't just have a separate salary. There should be some kind of deal where, hey, the quarterbacks, they can kind of be their own entity, and then you have the rest of the team as well. So I don't know what the math is on it, because math, I wasn't great at math in school. I was an English and history guy, and I rely on other people to do math. So I don't know, but I know there's got to be some kind of solution there where maybe that brings things back into whack a little bit.
Jason, always good stuff, man. What's coming up on the show tonight?
Well, we got day 2 of free agency. We got Daniel Jones. I let the cat out of the bag with my Daniel Jones and Indianapolis Colts take. So you got that here first. But and then we get back into the NBA and why I feel really good about the Lakers right now, even with LeBron being out. And I want to say thank you for not bringing up the NHL trade deadline, because the Hurricanes had a very Dallas Mavericks trade deadline. Okay, so thank you very much for not bringing that up.
That was tough. That was tough for your team. And hey, what about OKC, man? When are they getting the love that they deserve? They're the best team in the NBA.
They should. I mean, right now, you could fast forward to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and the Eastern Finals are going to be the Cavaliers and the Celtics, and the West Finals are likely going to be the Thunder and the Lakers, right? Like we can fast forward to that right now and move on. The Thunder are terrific, and they fly under the radar, but maybe not after this year, because SGA is going to win MVP, right? That's going to happen. I know Jokic is having another great year, but he is just he got 4 50-point games in the last month. He has been the reason. And when you talk about MVP, hey, they have the best record there, and Jokic has the Nuggets. He's great, but the Nuggets, you don't see an uptick in their record. You don't have to give him the MVP just because he's great again. No, SGA is going to wind up winning it, and then you're going to see Oklahoma really hit it big. They'll be just like the Timberwolves did last year, and suddenly the Thunder will be sort of front page news. But I think NBA fans need to see them through a full playoffs and see Gilgeous-Alexander have an incredible year and in the playoffs and hit some big shots and have some big 50-point games, and then suddenly they'll find he'll be the new Kevin Durant. They'll think of him like we did Kevin Durant like 12 or 13 years ago.
How long is LeBron out?
I got to think it's only now. If LeBron was going to be out a while, he's usually been pretty good with his with his load maintenance, his body maintenance. I got a feeling if he says 1 to 2 weeks, I got to say it's got to be 2 weeks at the most. Because if it would be longer than that, he wouldn't want to put pressure on his return. And honestly, it's probably a bit of a break for him, too. It's not the worst thing, as long as this injury is what they say it is, for him to have a couple of weeks of not playing to get ready for the stretch run and then the playoffs, because, he is 40. So I don't know that this is that doom and gloom a situation for the Lakers, because I think we know a little bit more if the injury was that bad, and it doesn't seem like it is. It seems like it's one of those, hey, after a couple of weeks, he'll get back in, they'll manage his minutes in the beginning, and two or three games in, we'll forget he was even hurt.
Great stuff, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a good one.
You got it, man. Enjoy.
There you go. That's Jason Smith from Fox Sports. You hear him on the Jason Smith Show, 8 to midnight here on Sports 1440. Quick break. We'll return. We got lots of hockey to discuss. We have TR coming up. Dave McCarthy will join us. We got Tater, Struds, Speck. It's a busy Tuesday. Lots more of your texts on what would you do if you were Chris Knobloch offensively? What combos? 'Cause I think you have to change something. This is now 64 games, and you got 9 of your 12 forwards well below average in 5-on-5 production. Got to make a change. Let's get to the Con Man and Sports 1440 update, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck Month is now on at GMC. You can get 0% financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. Learn more at gmccanada.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
10 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. It gets going at 5 with the Panthers in Boston. Devils hosting the Jackets. Sends it to Philly. Golden Knights taking on the Penguins at 5:30. The Canes hosting the Lightning. Then at 6, Avs in Minnesota. Jets taking on the Rangers at 8 o'clock. Canadians and Canucks, Ducks, Capitals, and the Islanders head to Los Angeles. In the association, lighter night, just 4 games on the schedule. The Cavs hosting the Nets. Wizards take on the Pistons. Pacers hosting Milwaukee. And the Pelicans taking on the LA Clippers. In the Asia, you got Fort Mac heading to Camrose. And the Thunder hosting the Storm. Both those games get going at 7 o'clock. In the PWHL, Minnesota heads to Ottawa for a meeting with the Charge. That starts at 5. Tiger Woods' injury continued. The 15-time major winner announced Tuesday that he underwent surgery for a ruptured Achilles. Woods, 49, says now he's focused on recovery. And from the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs signing cornerback Christian Fulton to a 2-year, $20 million deal. Also, all-pro returner Kevontae Turbin will stay with the Dallas Cowboys on a 3-year deal worth $18 million. And free agent quarterback Daniel Jones finalizing a 1-year contract for $14 million with the Indianapolis Colts. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, former NHLer Terry Ryan, and we'll look around the NHL with Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM NHL. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Saturday nights were made for WHL Hockey in Ice District. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
And this Saturday, your Edmonton Oil Kings square off with their Eastern Conference rivals, the Prince Albert Raiders. The Oil Kings will wear vintage specialty jerseys just for this matchup that'll be auctioned and raffled off after the game.
Plus, at every home game, score Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Prince Albert Raiders.
This Saturday night at 7.
Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
They are late, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Delivering new noodles almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice April 25th to 27th, pairing hockey fans with some of their favorite players from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend in support of the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories. Friday features a Champions Luncheon followed by the teams hitting the ice on Saturday and Sunday in a friendly hockey tournament at Terwilliger Rec Center. To purchase a table to the Champions Luncheon or to learn more about how you can get involved in the tournament, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca for more info.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
He's Alberta's sports authority and lead touchdown winner of his family's backyard flag football games. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, one-stop shop. You can try it out. Use the promo code Gregor and get a free $50 play. Also, you got lottery, you got instance, casino, and more, all in one place at PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of texts flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our inbox. We'll get to a lot of those and more as we welcome in our regular Tuesday and Thursday co-host. Of course, former NHLer, author, stars in Shoresy. They're currently filming season 5 right now as Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing, my man?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You got your headphones on and, they're like snug tight to your head. It's great.
It's a new feel and it's a new look, but it's a new process. And I didn't know this would work. The Wi-Fi in the hotel's not great, so I'm going to use my phone. Hopefully there's no technical difficulties. Good to see you guys.
Oh, but look at you, Mr. Technology, figuring out to make it better. That's fantastic. Hitch is rubbing off on you, just a man of many traits. TR, I don't know if I'll get you to read, maybe you read it earlier, but Oilers Nation article today about the Oilers and their 5-on-5 scoring. It's funny, as a team, they're 7th in the NHL 5-on-5 goals. You'd be like, hey, it's not bad. But when you dig deeper, Leon Draisaitl leads the league in 5-on-5 scoring. He's great. Hyman's having a good year, 5-on-5. Corey Perry, in his 18th season, is having his 3rd most productive goals per minute of his career, which is great for him. But the other 9 forwards aren't even at their career average. Like McDavid, worst of his 10 years. Janmark, worst of his 9 years. Brown, 3rd worst of 8 years. Arvidsson, 3rd worst of 8 years. Nugent Hopkins, this is his 14th year. It ranks 8 out of 14. Skinner's ranking 10th out of 15. So very few guys are even having average years, right? Other than 3 guys. So how imperative do you think it is on Chris Knobloch when I look at the Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman line as a trio is well below the production they had last year as a trio. In expected goals, in actual goals, both of them are way down. I think you got to try something different if I'm Chris Knobloch here, just to see. You can always go back to that, but it hasn't given you the production that you would like. So at some point, don't you have to change it?
Yeah, And I think you definitely got to change it because you can't point at the problem. If you could, then it would be a lot easier. But you're just looking at this like that doesn't make a lot of sense. And the Oilers are a team of extremes, whether it comes to losing streaks or specific players going on a run. And this is another example of it. Like you said, there's 3 or 4 guys that are having close to career years in that category and others that aren't doing anything. I don't know if you could draw a line and really pinpoint whatever was stirring that drink, but you can't. When you can't, I think you just got to keep trying different things. Certain things work, and it's getting to be too critical of a time in the season to have these what ifs, going into the playoffs where it's going to be a grind and then some.
Yeah. So, we've seen a few games of Wallman. I really like his mobility on the back end. I think it gives him a different look and it's perfect timing because Ekholm, is not probably not. Maybe we'll join them later on the trip. We'll see, or they might just rest him. But either way, he's not fully healthy yet. Klingberg's banged up. He's not playing yet. So, they needed Wallman in that regard, but I think he's going to help them later on. Would you like Wallman? They started out with Bouchard, but then he went back to Kulak, Bouchard, Wallman, Nurse. Is that the pair you would like and just say Ekholm, Bouchard, Wallman, Nurse, and then Kulak kind of plays the third pair, but also rotates in at certain times in your top 4?
Yeah, there was little bits of both last night. I think Wallman started with Bouchard last night, right? I think they got scored on. I don't know if it was their fault, that first one. But it seemed to me it clicked at times with Nurse. I don't know. I'd be getting at it soon. It's tough with these injuries, right? Because people often talk about the forward lines and how they click. But I don't know, man. Struds will tell you, you got to have D that are going and that are comfortable playing with each other. It's tough when you get guys injured like this, but I find that it's a little easier to find that chemistry, maybe because there's just 2 of you. And, I find for a guy like Wallman, there's a lot I like about him. And I think just in this small sample size, I knew who he was. I mean, he made it a little bit late, for a guy, I think he's 29. He was like mid-20s before he made it. And he's really worked to be where he is. I think he's a great player. Seems to be a guy that I don't want to say is easy to play with, but I think he can evolve. We'll see. He can evolve and adapt. But I think it's too early for me to say who he should play with. I really like the acquisition.
Yeah, well, I love your description, late developer. And that happens to a lot of guys, especially defensemen, right? I think he's another prime example of, where you are at 18, 19, 20 for a defenseman in a lot of cases doesn't mean that's who you're going to be as a player down the road. And we have lots of forwards. Look at Zach Hyman, later in his career, who he's continued to develop. Like hockey's still a late developing sport, despite what some people want to think, even for the best players in the world. But going back to the Oilers game last night, Terry, like they scored 2 goals again, 1 5-on-5. Like their power play scores again. Their power play's been fine. Actually, I think their power play in their last 12 games is something like 37.9%. So I'm not going to rip on their power play too much, but their 5-on-5 scoring, they just like you had some really good chances that you either missed the net, didn't shoot, hit goalposts. And, like at some point, like Stuart Skinner makes a nice save, and then he goes to cover the rebound, misses it with his stick, and they score, right? Not good. But to me, that's just as egregious as a guy having a wide open net in the slot and hitting the goalpost and not hitting the net where it's like 3 feet of wide open. You're an NHL player. All you got to do is shoot into the net.
Yeah, you got to bear down like that. I don't get it. And there's a reason you said the 5-on-5 scoring's down because they're not intense. All this, I'm telling you, it all goes back to the article you wrote last week about the least hits. When you're not hitting, you're not intense. You don't need to lead the league. But when you're way, way at the bottom, I don't know. To me, that's a real problem. And hopefully it got addressed. Got picked up some players that are comfortable throwing their weight around. I'm not saying you got to go out there and maim people, but it's just, to me, it's hand in hand. And it's when do lazy turnovers? It just happens when you're not intense. One thing to me leads to the other. I think there's a direct relationship, and some of the players just seem to be in exhibition mode. I can't believe I'm saying it. And maybe they're not. Maybe they're squeezing their stick too much. But there's a reason. And some of these 5, it's Buffalo. They gave some terrible turnovers.
Yes.
Not from guys that you would ever expect it from. And it's starting to happen a little too regularly. And I'm not sitting here and pointing at Evan Bouchard, he's some of the blame. But I mean, like a lot of them, a lot of regulars turning the puck over in bad places, making plays at the blue line. You might try an exhibition, but you're going to get burned if you're doing that in the playoffs. So, what is intensity? It's not always going out and banging and crashing. Sometimes it's just the way you approach the game and you're mentally, I'm into it. You start a game, whatever sport you're in, the people out there that can relate, I'm into it. Okay, it's soccer, it's baseball, whatever. There's a way to turn the key and get dialed in. It's not always throw your weight around, but I think in this case, it's both. You got to have something. And of course, they're great. I mean, the power play looks great because it is. They're confident. They're out there. They have some of the best players ever. Not now. They have some of the best players doing what they're doing ever. And I can see every reason to be confident. But, when you're out there and teams can give you a full forecheck and work hard and they're knocking you off your game, and they're the youngest team in the league and the worst in their conference, it's not a good thing this close to the playoffs.
Yeah, no. And I don't know why they can't win in Buffalo. We outlined, and they can't score goals there either. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. This has been basically through the entire McDavid, Draisaitl era. They've won 3 of 9 games there and have scored a whopping 21 goals in 9 games. Like, it's for the team that's like the second worst goals against team at home in that same period. It doesn't make sense to me. But now the Oilers had a day off. They'll move. If you're Chris Knobloch, TR, I would think it's a time. I'm keeping Hyman with McDavid for sure, but I want to get away from always going to Draisaitl there. Not that they do it always. He's only played 385 minutes there, so I want to be realistic about it. But I would look and say, hey, McDavid's numbers are way down, the lowest of his career, in fact. Nugent Hopkins' numbers are down. Why not try something new? So if I give you Henrique, Kapanen, or Jeff Skinner, who would you put on the left wing beside McDavid and Hyman?
Wow. Well, if I was going to try something, you might think I'm nuts, but out of those 3, maybe Skinner, because I think Henrique could give you more help at other places. Just he's a little bit more versatile. And if Skinner, I can hear people out there grinding their teeth, but that's probably what I would do. You wanted him to do something. They're not playing the best. I know he was a healthy scratch a little bit, but I mean, he did have little spurts more recently than not. And he's been paid to put the puck in the net. And you're talking about Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. But I mean, I would go there if nothing else, because I just think I don't think he can play on those bottom 2 units.
Okay. All right. We'll take a quick break. Dave McCarthy will join us next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertips. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on PlayAlberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
There's an old saying that goes, many hands make light work. We believe that at GS Construction. So what does it mean? It means a task is easier to complete when many people work together. It also means that GS Construction is preparing for the start of the 2025 season and is hiring. Currently, we're on the lookout for top men and pipe layers. So if you're one of those skilled pros who know how to do your job safely and efficiently, we're interested. Come join a team that's as solid as the infrastructure we build and maintain. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
This is going to make you hungry. Booster Juice just dropped new guacamole and black bean grilled fresh options.
What the what?
Yeah, a guacamole black bean wrap, guacamole chicken panini, and an egg and chipotle black bean wrap.
What a trio! Holy guacamole!
Bye-bye, boring as bread sandwiches.
Fuck yeah! New flavors, new cravings.
Avocado up to wraps and paninis from Booster Juice. Canadian-born blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
When you live in northern Alberta, you need a vehicle that is built for this climate. That's the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass, and you'll find it at St. Albert Dodge. Now, what can I say? It's a Jeep. It's a 4x4, so it's totally at home driving on snow and ice. And it's got some great standard features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, keyless entry, and heated front seats. As I said, northern Alberta. And all starting from just $34,900. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Oodle Noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Edmonton's biggest St. Patty's Day party is at On the Rock.
Party at OTR March 14th to 17th as we celebrate St. Patty's Day the way it needs to be celebrated.
Look at the Irish. 96 hours of green beer.
5,760 minutes of mayhem, including live entertainment.
Irish dancers.
All the festive Irish food you can handle.
Celebrate St. Patrick's Day at On the Rocks. On the Rocks.
Your Kiss Me, I'm Irish headquarters.
Only if you're into that sort of thing.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And if you do wager, use your game sense. Go to GameSenseAB.ca and learn more to ensure that you're staying within your limits. The Oilers day off today. They will take on the New Jersey Devils on Thursday. They got the Islanders on Friday, the Rangers on Sunday, and they will need a much better effort than what they had last night. I would say better execution. Effort, I don't think, was the issue for the most part. Execution was a bigger issue for the Oilers last night. As it's time now to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And hey, did you know that the Big Arch is still here? Made with 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 of them, delicious sauce, and all of McDonald's flavor you love. Try one today, the Big Arch, only at McDonald's. As we welcome in from Sirius XM, our regular Tuesday contributor, Dave McCarthy, joins us. Davey, how you doing?
What's up, boys? How's it going?
Oh, it's good. What's the weather like there, Dave?
Oh, it's a tease today. It's not bad. It's like 12 degrees and sunny. I'll say there's a little bit of a breeze though. So it's not quite, shorts weather or anything like that. But it's actually plummeting as the night goes down. It's gonna be like -4. So not totally out of the woods yet, but we're getting there finally.
What has been the reaction to the Mitch Marner rumblings about, hey, Mitch, would you waive your deal to go to Carolina? So he says no. Does this put more angst and stress on a relationship between the Maple Leafs and Marner? Because both sides have said, Dave, that that he would like to stay and they'd like to have him. but nothing's happened. I don't get it. If both sides are there, like, shouldn't this be a pretty easy negotiation? You have lots of comparables that you could make a signing.
Yeah, that's why I think Mitch Marner's contract negotiations frustrate people in this city, unlike the way Austin Matthews and William Nylander's have been. Now, Nylander's not the first contract out of entry level. That was something where it went right down to the final minute there before he signed his deal on December 1st. But the last time when he signed his long-term deal, that was pretty quiet. And boom, one morning, there it was, and away you went. It didn't seem like there was a lot of acrimony. Austin Matthews, both times out of nowhere, there's a deal done. With Mitch, it seems like there's always a battle, and it is confusing, as you point out. If both sides say that they want to continue their relationship, well, then you'd think there would be a deal there to be had. But my understanding is that they actually haven't even got down to business. There has been no negotiation. Mitch hasn't said, okay, come to me with your best offer, and we'll see what that is. Then we'll go back and forth and try and hammer out a deal. I'd like to return, but no offers have been exchanged. And now you're past the trade deadline, which loses the Leafs even any shred of leverage that they may have had to begin with, though I contended the entire time they really had none. Because of the no movement clause, and it came to pass. He was asked, and he said no. And at that point, what are you going to do if you're the Leafs? But now you're heading toward the end of the season. I don't blame him, quite honestly, for not waiving, because it's in your contract. It's a negotiated clause. I might do the same thing if I was in his position, and he thinks he's in a better position here to win a Stanley Cup than he is in Carolina. And quite honestly, I don't disagree with him on that front. So why wouldn't you want to put yourself in the best personal position heading toward unrestricted free agency to have success? And I think that's here. So I don't blame him for doing that. But now this comes out, and if he ultimately walks out the door in free agency and they get back 0 for him, and Leaf fans are under the understanding that if he had waived his no trade clause, they could have swapped. They could have got Rantanen. Martin would have gone to Carolina and still gone to free agency, which may be what he wants to do anyway. And the Leafs at least get something for him. People won't forget that. People won't forget that. And I would ask, if I was talking to Mitch, just think about that and consider it and really answer yourself this question. How much is your reputation, the city in which you live, grew up, everything that could come down the road if you remain, how much is that worth to you? And if the difference is worth it, then by all means, that is your right. But I will tell you that this city won't forget that either.
Yeah, that's fair. When you look at now you've had a few days. We see all the trades, Florida, Tampa, Toronto. Now you've got injuries for both those teams. You got a 20-game suspension for Ekblad, who came out and said, hey, I took something, although I want to see what it is. I want to know when he took it. But it is a 20-game suspension, 18 in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs. What do you make of that? And do you think it's going to impact Florida's chances to win the division?
Maybe. Like it's going to be a close race here down the stretch, and taking a guy of Aaron Ekblad's caliber out of the lineup, who plays in the role that he does, plays the amount of minutes that he does, and has played very effectively. Yeah, that's not going to be ideal. Tell me a team where you take out a defenseman of that caliber for a long period of time, it's not going to affect. So it's not ideal. The Leafs and Florida play each other 3 times here down the stretch. So that, to me, I think is going to determine who wins the division, who comes out better in that head-to-head series of 3 games. So it will impact them. But I think, in this case, Florida's a really good team. If they face Tampa Bay, I would still pick them to win. To me, Florida's the best team of the 3 in the Atlantic Division. They're going to get Ekblad back in Game 3, and they're going to get Brad Marchand back by that point as well. So I'm not too concerned. You can look at it this way. You're going to get back a rested Ekblad, right? A guy that's not worn down the stretch, guy who maybe has a little bit more jump in his step. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, because I don't think they're a guy away from falling off a cliff, if you will, as, for instance, if you took Zach Werenski out of Columbus's lineup at this point for 20 games, that would be big problems. I don't think it'll affect Florida the same way.
TR?
Dave, what do you think of the Oilers trade acquisition? Let's say this, okay. I know you were fairly big on them at the beginning of the year. Where would you rank the Oilers now in the Western Conference after the deadline?
That's a good question. Not as high as I would at the beginning of the year, quite honestly, and I'm aware of the market in which I'm in, but I like to speak the truth. I would put them behind Dallas. I would put them behind Colorado. I would put them behind Vegas, for sure. Winnipeg, there's still an element of uncertainty there for me that I have not seen in the playoffs the way I have seen from Edmonton in the playoffs in recent times. So I'd put them at like 4, and it's a battle between Edmonton and Winnipeg at this point. In terms of the guys that they acquired, I like Jake Wallman. I like Max Jones. I like Trent Frederick, even though he hasn't played yet. They represent elements to this lineup that I thought were not present in near enough regularity. It brings some physicality. They bring some toughness. They bring some sort of straight ahead heavy hockey, which Edmonton desperately needs. So look, they don't, would it have been nice if they could have got a Brock Nelson to add another shooter up front? Yeah, sure, it would have been. But there are very few perfect teams, if any, in the National Hockey League because of the salary cap. And at Edmonton's strength is their offense. You got McDavid, you got Draisaitl, you got Zach Hyman. I know Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has not been great at 5-on-5 this year, but he's a guy that has shown an ability to produce in the past. He needs to produce. Victor Arvidsson's going to have to find a way to chip in. But offensively, they should be okay. It was more, to me, a concern of down the lineup, what's going on there, and is there enough bite on the back end? And I think they added some of that. So without much cost. So I think fairly good acquisitions on the part of Stan Bowman.
Yeah,
people are talking about. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, TR. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to. People are talking about all the Marner contract. I'm fascinated by Tavares because he's having another solid year. He's never really tailed off that much. You might argue with the fact that he makes 11. I think it is right from the start. But I mean, if you had a problem with that, you would have had it 7 years ago, whatever it was, because he's lived up to his billing. Now, he's delivered as asked. He's been captain a lot of the time. No one's really talking about it. Now, the Leafs have all these players making over $10 million, and that can't possibly happen again. Plus, he's getting older. But how much of a discount would he take? Do they even want to take him? I think it's fascinating because he's been such a big-time player for them, but yet he's kind of overshadowed by the other guys who are younger and more, I guess, part of that nucleus. Would they want to re-sign him, you think?
Well, look, you're right, Terry. He's played excellent this year. And when you think of how the offseason went, transitioning the captaincy, he's never been a guy that's been particularly fleet of foot. He's 34 years of age. You could have wondered how that would have affected him, but this guy really is the consummate pro. He does everything right. He treats his body right. He's a guy that's got a tremendous skill set that puts himself in a position to maximize that skill set as well. And that's not something you can say all the time about guys with elite skill sets. There are some that try to get by on talent alone. John has incredible talent, more than most, and he maximizes it. So he deserves a ton of credit. And he really has been great this year. He's essentially point a game. He's probably going to end up around 34, 35 goals. And you're right. Every single year throughout the duration of this contract, he's delivered. Been a point a game guy, about a 30 goal a year guy every single year. You can't ask for better than that. If he had told you that when they made that signing, if that's the type of production you're getting out of him year in, year out for 7 years, do you still like the contract just in and of itself? I think a lot of people say, yeah, that's good. Now, has it translated to success in terms of the team? No, it hasn't. But I look, there's no bones about the fact that John wants to return. I think the Leafs, and I said at the beginning of the year, if he wants to come back, best thing you can do to make that happen is to play good, to make the Leafs look at it and say, well, we still want him back. Because if he had said, I want to come back, and he goes out and he's got, 16 goals and 42 points and looks a step behind the pace, Well, I can tell you what's going to happen. The answer is no, they're not bringing him back. They've got to think long and hard about it, because they got to look and say, well, can he still play in a second line center role? If not, can he play in a third line center role? And do we think we can go out in the offseason and fill that hole elsewhere? And then what would the number be? I think he's willing to take a concession. I know for a fact he doesn't want to uproot his life, his family, and all that to move somewhere else for 3 years. He'd like to retire as a Maple Leaf. He's given the Maple Leafs reason to want to consider to have him back, but I also can understand why they did not get it done now. I think to an extent like Marner, I think they want to wait and see how everything plays out in the playoffs and then make their decisions at that point. But he's given them reason to look long and hard and say, geez, I don't know if we can let this guy go. And if the answer is no, we can't, then let's try and hammer out a deal.
Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us. Dave, hey, Dallas made a big move. Carolina, they took a swing. It was interesting. Did you hear Rod Brindamore's comments yesterday? Brindamore said basically from the moment he was acquired, Rantanen said there's 4 teams I'm going to play for, and you're not one of them. Like he told the coach that pretty much early on in his time in Carolina. That was crazy. I don't know if you heard that.
I did.
Interview with Rod Brindamore yesterday came out in Carolina, and he basically said, "Hey, Rantanen told me when he came here, there's 4 teams." Now he said, "Should we have known that beforehand? Maybe, right? So maybe he's questioned a little bit, but maybe you don't know that because you didn't get the opportunity to talk to his camp beforehand." So, what do you make of Carolina's big swing? Do you think, hey, it's worth it? Everybody knew they've always needed a superstar player, so you got to go out and get one and then be confident maybe he'll sign. Because, Frank Saravalli reported that they offered him $14 million a year. So it wasn't money. He offered them $2 million a year more, and the tax savings isn't going to make any difference. So what do you make of Carolina's big swing, even though it didn't result in him staying?
Well, I don't know how you can say it any other way, but then it's a miss on the part of Eric Tulsky. How can you say it any other way? It's incumbent on the manager acquiring the guy when you are sacrificing the pieces that they did in return for the deal. Marty Nakich, who's been great in Carolina, was great at the beginning of the year, was leading the league in scoring for a good period of time, and Jack Drury, who have both gone on to Colorado to play really well there. How can you not know if you've got a chance to sign the guy? It's happened many times that you find a way to talk to the guy, and you talk to the team that you're acquiring him from and say, look, contingent on agreeing with this deal, we need to be granted the opportunity to talk to Mikko, talk to his camp, to see if we can get a deal done. Because if we can't, the return that we're offering you cannot be what it is. That's the wild thing. The return that Carolina or that Colorado got for Mikko Rantanen was the type of return to me that would suggest you knew you would have a long-term contract extension in place. So I like the fact that they took a swing. I like the fact that they said, hey, to themselves, we'll probably be able to convince them money's not going to be the object. And if we offer 14 sheets, how could he say no? But he did. And so to me, that's a miss, because their team has now been weakened compared to where they were at the beginning of the year. They're not nearly as good at the beginning of the now as they were at the beginning of the year. And I didn't think at the beginning of the year they were as good as the team they had at the end of last season. And so, yeah, I think it's a miss on the part of Eric Tulsky. I will say that they mishandled the Jake Gensel situation last year as well. They dithered and didn't come straight out and offer him a deal. And by people that I've talked to, it sounds like if they had of, he would have been happy to sign. And I think they might have gotten caught up in their own confusion of saying, okay, well, that's what happened last year. We'll learn from that. We won't let it happen again. We'll acquire the guy and we'll back the Brinks truck up. We'll throw 14 his way like we didn't do last year, and he'll take it this year. Because well, clearly money wasn't the entire prerogative for Mikko Rantanen. So, yeah, I love the aggressiveness to an extent, but are you out there swinging at a piñata, or are you waiting for your pitch It looks like they swung at a pinata and missed and tripped.
But they took a swing. So, yeah, it's kind of on. They had to take a swing at some point for sure. Lastly, for you, Dave, the Dallas Stars, what about the Winnipeg Jets? They didn't get the big name. They didn't get Rantanen. They didn't get Brock Nelson. But you know what? Luke Schenn, I think, is going to really help them at some key moments in the game defensively. Tanev comes in. He knows the organization, so it's an easy kind of fit in there. Do the Jets have it? And I don't know if you've looked, but in 2025, the calendar year, Connor Hellebuck's numbers are kind of meh. Any concern about that?
Yeah, there is. Because he's never shown me to any extent in the playoffs, right? Like come playoff time, it's like the Wizard of Oz, where the guy that comes out from behind the curtain is like, who the hell is that? That's not the guy that we saw for the better part of the first 4 months of the year. And that's been the case the last 2 years. So, yeah, there is an element of concern. I thought he was outplayed by Jordan Binnington at the Four Nations as well when all the chips were on the line, right? In the final game, how do you argue that? Binnington was unbelievable. Hellebuck was good, but not that good. And so, yeah, there is concern there. Now, do I think he could prove me wrong and play like the guy that he has played like for most of 2024 during the regular season and the early part of this year? Yeah, I do. But his play has dipped to an extent right now. Up front, the only area of concern that I've got with their team is maybe their second line is a little light. But again, there are no perfect teams in the salary cap era. I like Brandon Tanev. I think he is a guy that has playoff time written all over him, right? Like he's that Blake Coleman, Barclay Goodrow type guy that during the regular year, whatever, like, sometimes he chips in, sometimes he doesn't. But over a 7-game series, he's the type of guy that can really wear you down. And would it shock anybody if he chips in, a couple goals and an assist throughout a 7-game series and make a difference? Absolutely not. So I like the acquisition there. Makes the team more difficult to play against. And Luke Schenn is the same type of guy. Really good in the playoffs over his career. It was that way in Tampa. He was that way in Toronto when they actually went around. He understands what it takes to go deep. I love what Nathan McKinnon said last week when he said, I don't think you can win with young players. I don't think you can win with young players. Well, Luke Schenn, Brandon Tanev, they're guys that have some seasoning to them. And I think they'll help the blue line, certainly Schenn and Tanev up front. So, yeah, I think good acquisitions. But again, like Edmonton, they more or less have the pieces there that are either going to take them where they want to go or not. And what they brought in will augment it. But fact of the matter is, if Hellebuck is no good and Scheifele is no good and Connor is no good and Ehlers is no good, Brandon Tanev, Luke Schenn, Brock Nelson, if they had acquired him, not going to make any difference. Their core, those guys need to steer the ship, just like in Edmonton, the guys, same thing. And that's really the case with any quality team. But it's, can you fill little areas that can make your team better, provided that the guys you depend on play to their expectations. And I think Winnipeg did that as well.
Davey, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself an awesome day.
Okay, boys. I'll see you.
There you go. That's Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. Dave joins us every Tuesday. It's Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We got TR's Tales, Ryan's Rant, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice April 25th to 27th. Don't miss the Champions Luncheon on Friday, April 25th at the Edmonton Convention Center. Tables are on sale now. This year's event is hosted by accomplished sports journalist and author Scott Morrison and features the legendary locker room tales of Mike Keenan. Iron Mike grew from a highly respected NHL player to one of the most passionate coaches in hockey history. For more information or to purchase your Champions Luncheon table, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
Introducing the new McSpicy from McDonald's. It looks like a regular chicken sandwich, but it's actually a spicy chicken sandwich. McSpicy. Consider yourself warned. Limited time only. Participate in McDonald's in Canada.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this truck month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Alberta's data center industry is booming, and Silent Air is leading the way. We design and build critical infrastructure that powers AI, the cloud, and the internet. And we need skilled trades to help us shape the future. Right now, we're hiring apprentice and journeymen and women electricians, plumbers, and other trades. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, and real career growth. Apply today at silent-air.com. That's silent-aire.com. And build the future with us.
Volvo Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions and projects, service tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
What did he say about 350? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, TR with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Coming up later on, of course, Spec will join us. We got Struddy, 2 Minute Warning with Tater. Lots more on the orders. We asked you, because I broke down, if you want to read the numbers, you can go to OilersNation.com. As looked at out of the Oilers 12 forwards. Now, I didn't include Jones because he's only played a few games. This season, the other 12 forwards, there's only 3 of them that are just having average years 5-on-5 based on their careers. And they're, Draisaitl really good, Hyman solid, Perry excellent for his age and career, has been really good. But after that, man, it is a major dip. No one's even average. And what I would rank as average, if you have a 10-year career, this would be at least your 5th most productive season out of 10. To me, that would be average. Well, none of them. The other 9 are even average. Lots of them are at the bottom, like worst of their 8-year, 9-year, 10-year career. And that includes McDavid. So, just going off their 5-on-5 production, they've got some areas to improve as a team. And it's funny, the group is 7th overall. But keep in mind, Draisaitl is leading the NHL in 5-on-5 scoring. Like, he's been amazing. So even other guys, like, I'm talking goal scoring. Because at the end of the day, you need some guys to score goals. And they got a few guys. We're not talking a major difference. Like if it's 1 or 2 goals each guy, well, suddenly, that adds a lot more. And that's what they need. And I thought last night that was a major reason for their loss. Couldn't finish. They got no finish. Not good. Now let's get to Ryan's Rant TR Sales, brought to you by Action Electrical. Did you know building owners, you can earn a refundable federal tax rebate up to 30% off a solar project's capital cost? Learn more at actionelectrical.net. They'll tell you what it is. So, TR, we got a few questions I want to ask you. So I do want to we had a few people. Hey, guys, I'm curious. Does TR have any fun behind the scenes Shoresy stories from Dale?
Oh, wow. That's a great question.
Because this is year 5 of Shoresy, and you're currently filming as we speak. So, obviously, the cast gets to know each other, I would think, a lot better than you guys. You guys didn't really know half of each other in year 1. Now you're into year 5. So, take us through an average year of shooting. Any good stories?
Well, we've had a lot of fun, and we also went on the road for those 5 games with Buffalo, Boston, Chicago, Detroit, and Toronto. And so we have a lot of fun, and we approach it like a hockey team. Of course, I mean, that's not the plan going in, but that just ends up, we hang out. This year, I don't want to get into too much of the plot, but we're playing hockey again, right? So our opponents, I mean, even in season 2 there, or 3, I guess, Alex Penner, Freddie Waugh, Patrick Waugh's son, Neil Clark, who plays Schnurr. Boys are all Palmer, Schnurr, and Delaney. So they're friends of ours as well, right? So when we meet them on set and everything, and now coming back, and we know a lot of the crew, so it does really feel like a lot of camaraderie happens. I just mentioned them because you might know them, but there's all kinds of other actors that are in and out and background and all that. So we do have a lot of fun. I will tell you a story, I suppose, without getting into too many of the finer details. The people here really do treat us well. And we go out usually every Friday. We'll go out for a bite and some drinks after we're done wrapping, if we have time. Last night, for example, we wrapped at 1:30 a.m. or something, so no time on those days. But usually we wait to the end of the week and we do that. So we get together, and especially if there's a Wolves game, it's awesome. It's right downtown. And we like to support the local establishments, so we kind of bar hop all over the place. So I was leaving one place called the Grand. It was Cowboy Night, and I wore my snake skins. I was in there with Nasty Marasti, Brandon Nolan, Cam Fergus, who's our stunt coordinator, and Ryan McDonald. And we were going to meet the other guys at Pepe Panini. It's brought a lot on the show. Pepe Panini and Respect is Burning. They come up a lot in the show. They're right across the street from each other, and they're both places that we hang out with and support. So we were heading over to one of those places, and then a couple of girls yelled at me from across the street. They were really good-looking girls. Hey, we love Hitch. We love Hitch. So I said, well, where are you guys going? And they said, we're going to this house party, if you want to come. So I looked at the guys and come on, I need someone. We got to go over here. I can't not explore this, but I want to meet you guys. And they said, no, the party's just over here. It's really close. So I said, no problem. So I'm going to do that. I'll run into you guys later. So I show up at this place, and it's definitely a college party, a lot of locals, and a lot of people that they just wanted to have fun. So I go in there, and I do the keg stand thing. I mean, things that I probably shouldn't be doing, but it's a lot of fun. I picture old school, I guess, right? The thing. Anyway, I'm in there having a lot of fun, and these girls they were winding me up, and they knew it, right? And they'd show me a little leg, and then, do you like this, bra? And I'm just totally wound up. So the one girl said, I'm a tattoo artist. And I said, well, why don't you should get a tattoo. Sure, I'll do whatever you guys say. So anyway, yeah, we should get a tattoo. So I sit down. I said, okay, Monica, go to town. She said, I only do them freehand, which I mean, was ridiculous to me.
You let a stranger, just some random, give you a tattoo?
Well, a really, really pretty, good-looking random that had a friend that it was implied to me that maybe 3 of us would have a good time. That was kind of implied. So yes, I chased after it like a dog going after a bone. So And I mean, at this point, the house wasn't right.
Did you get the tattoo?
I'm going to tell you, the house wasn't as close as they said it was either. It was a little bit of a drive. And so it was like, 1:45 when I went there. So I knew this. It's like 1:30. I knew I'd miss everybody up. Now there's people there partying, pizzas are showing up. And I'm just in this one where I just did a cake stand. I go in this other room. Anyway, yes. So she says, only freehand. So on my arm, I was going to get, we always say before we get going, we go, here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. So just something easy, but I'm like, I can't think of anything intricate. What am I going to give you? A verse of my favorite song? Or, I'm zooed out of my head here. It's the end of the night. We've been boozing since like supper. You know what I mean? We're having a great time. So I was having such a good time that we smoked some weed, we had some drinks, and I just I laid back and she started making the tattoo. Okay, so here's where we got. Can you see this? See that?
Yeah, you got the H.
I got the letter H. I don't remember anything else. Okay, I don't remember anything else. I woke up in a kitchen chair with my feet up. I looked over, and this was in the summertime. So we were doing season 4. Or season 3. So I'm sitting back with my feet up, and I wake up, man, and there's like pizza boxes, there's beer cans everywhere. It looks like a scene out of, I don't know, Animal House or Ferris Bueller's Day Off or something. I'm looking out, and there's people passed out all around me, and there's a buzz. There's the fan is on, and you can just hear it. You can just hear it going. And I get up, and I don't know where they are. And I wake up this dude. I said, well, like, where's Monica? And he said, like, she lives in Toronto. I said, oh, God. And he said, she's long gone now. I don't know. So that's it. I went, and I was going to get something put over it the next day with Jared Kiso. And Keith said, you're leaving that just like it is. That's it. That's going to stay the letter H. It's a cooler story, even though no one knows what the hell it stands for. So anyway, that it is. Supposed to say, here we go now. And it's merely the letter H.
Well, I was looking at where the H is. I don't even know if they would have been able to fit the HERE before hitting your Beatles.
Well, they wouldn't but this was new. I got this right after at the Blueberry for the Blueberry Bulldog.
But the Beatles was there before, was it not?
Yeah, but it was going the other way.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Now I have
you would have read
Blueberry, but it was coming up.
Okay. I thought it was I thought I was reading it facing me. So, but I see it. It would have been, you could see it saying, so it would have been spelled upside down almost for the other person, but right side up for you.
Oh, yes. And right side up for me. And it was room. I don't have time to really think it out. I knew Here We Go Now would work on some level because we actually said those words, but I was in no state to be choosing what tattoo I was going to get. And not only that, I never did get my shoes. So I had to go out and get a Uber with no shoes on.
Oh, well, see, I have virgin skin, so I've never had a tattoo. So the thought of just at a random person's house at 1:30 in the morning, like obviously I have a lot of tattoos, so you're probably comfortable with it. Like well, I would never get a tattoo now. I've kind of passed the age of my life where I would do it. I thought for a brief moment when my dad passed away, I might get something for him, but then I just remember Dad being like, "What the hell are you getting a tattoo for?" So I didn't get one. But because it's not my thing. I have people that have it. I think it's great. But doing it at 1:30 in the morning, TR, obviously it wasn't the. So are you happy, though, that you didn't get the entire thing? Or do you wish you would have had the hunt?
Yeah, you know what? It was a night. It was some fun. I mean, Monica was doing a bunch of shooters, too, and other things. So, like, I'm like, this is probably good that it worked out like this. And it's a story. In the end, we're all dust in the wind, my man. It's all dust in the end. I'm going to fit inside this can at some point, and it's just a story along the way. You know what I mean? It's all about the journey.
How many tattoos do you have in total?
Oh God, I wouldn't know. 30 odd, probably.
30. Like, what's
a lot of them are small.
Yeah, like what's your biggest tattoo you have?
I got one on my back. I have it's odd, but in chronological order, when I left home. Now they didn't all pass away when I was with them, but my roommates. Track Edmonton would know Todd Clausen. He passed away. A guy named Mike Collins, a guy Jonathan DeLille, and BJ Young. So it was weird, but so that's really the big one that means something. And it's like 1/4 of my back, I suppose. And then, yeah, I get the Beatles means something. This is a fairly,
I
I
know
like
you're
that.
a Beatles fan. Yeah, the Beatles one's fine. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got this ship here. My grandfather was a sailor. I do have, but they're all like that. They're all like medium size all over. And it's usually when I go, I go with somebody else that's going to get a tattoo. Mark me down too. You know what I mean? The blueberry or whatever. It's never really thought out. I mean, this one on the side of my head, right?
Yeah.
I got one on the side of my head. That was on a pub crawl. And I had long hair. I went home. I was just cue ball with. I woke up and I remember it happening, but I probably wouldn't have made that decision. Cut off all my hair, man. It was like pretty long. It was like not all the way down, but it was a bunch of locks, and I shaved it all and had a stare there when I woke up.
Outside of the H, do you have any other tattoos that are connected to Shoresy?
Oh yeah. I got 24-0 right here.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I got a bunch. I got the bulldog right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we get them with Shoresy every year, Jared. We all go and pick one, and sometimes it's all the same. But the 24-0 became a problem because you're not supposed to give things away, right? And I'm just famous for that, like taking a picture in our jerseys, and they're going, "What the hell?" No one has seen those yet. So yeah, I wore this in a scene, and they had to come and because I got it that year, and it was silly. You got to go into hair and makeup, right? And they got to
dust it off, so they don't know that you went undefeated. Jeez.
No, and then I posted the story on my Instagram of getting the actual tattoo. I wasn't thinking about it. People are going, "What's 24-0? That's like a senior hockey season, right? Did you guys?" And you're going, and people are looking at every little thing. You don't think about it, but fans of the show, they will find out, and I've learned that the hard way.
So there'll be no tattoo until season 5 is on TV, is what you're telling us.
Yeah, no shit. I was gonna go. Sorry. Yesterday I was gonna get one. It's not summer, so my shirt's not gonna be off as much, but I decided against it. I'll just I can wait another month.
Maybe it could be like Mike Tyson, and you could get like an eye drop or something.
The old eye drop. No, I don't think I'll get one on my face, but I might on my neck. It's always a hassle for hair and makeup because they got to whatever. If you happen to get a role, no one ever asks you, but they have to usually put some makeup over it. But that's also
a neck
tattoo. They pay it for
tattoo.
time in the chair. Sorry. Go ahead.
They pay, so if they have to put makeup over your tattoo, you get paid for that?
I'm not joking you right now. It makes no sense, but if you've got tattoos, you get an extra hour's pay if you get a minute. Yeah. And that's good money. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow. All right. Well, there you go. Well, TR, I did not expect that one, so that's a classic story. Awesome. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Stop in at Booster Juice right now because they got some new flavors for you to try. The guacamole chicken panini wrap, the guacamole black bean wrap, and the egg and chipotle black bean wrap. Visit your nearest Booster Juice today and treat your taste buds to some new flavors.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Busy night in the NHL. You got the Capitals down in Anaheim taking on the Ducks. Kings host the Islanders, Sharks and Preds, Montreal, Travis to Vancouver. Jets host the Rangers, that take on the Wild, Canes and the Lightning, and the Penguins hosting the Golden Knights. Also, Ottawa and Philadelphia in the association. Just 4 games. Nets meet the Cavs. Pistons host the Wizards. Bucks in Indiana. And the Pelicans hosting the LA Clippers. In the AJ Fort Mac, it's the Camrose and the Thunder host the Storm. Both those games start at 7. And in the PWHL, Ottawa taking on Minnesota. That'll get going just after 5 o'clock. Tiger Woods' spell on the sideline is now indefinite. The 15-time major winner announcing today he underwent surgery for a ruptured Achilles. Woods, 49, says he is now focused on recovery. From the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs signing cornerback Christian Fulton to a 2-year, $20 million deal. All-pro returner Cavante Turbis, who was set to become a restricted free agent, signing with the Cowboys 3 years, $18 million. And free agent quarterback Daniel Jones finalizing 1-year deal with the Indianapolis Colts for $14 million. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the fortune coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Blue Jays fans, are you ready? Spring training is here, and every Sunday at 11 a.m., Sports 1440 carries Blue Jays baseball. Put yourself in Florida, in the heat, in the stands, having a cold one, listening to Sports 1440.
We carry multiple brands.
Okay. Hi there, this is Riverside Motorsports, Yamaha, Suzuki, KTM, Polaris, Gas, Husqvarna, Tibbersled, Stasic, Talaria, Climb, Floor, Alpine Stars, 509, Troy Lee Designs, and more. Sales, how can I help you?
Located on St. Albert Trail, rideriverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you
Oh
bought
my,
were the
could we
best
be in
ever
a
made.
a
If they were,
a pickle?
you would have gotten
Be in
better.
a
Every day
a
at Fitted Golf, we
pickle?
continue to prove
The Edmonton
right
Oilers.
clubs make all the difference in the world.
Could be in a
From
pickle?
beginners to pros,
The Edmonton
Fitted
Oilers.
Golf makes all the difference.
Drop back 5 yards and punt. Bunt end of the runner.
Alberta's data center industry is booming, and Silent Air is leading the way. We
2
design and build
is on the
critical
shot clock.
infrastructure that powers AI, the cloud,
Chip shot.
and the internet. And we need skilled trades to help us shape the future. Right now, we're hiring apprentice and journeymen and women electricians,
For grabs,
plumbers,
right?
and other trades.
Your
We offer
Oilers.
competitive wages, great
Oilers.
benefits, and real career growth.
6,
Apply
as in a
today
6
at silent-air.com.
points. And
That's
they're having more
silent-air.com.
turnovers. Con Bakery. Can't
And build the future
can't win
with
hockey
us.
games that way.
Spring melt is here, and with it comes
We'll
the
gobble
risk
them
of
up.
flooding basements,
Big time.
foundations, and window wells.
But
keep an eye on excess water runoff and protect your home.
there's more.
Avalon Construction at 780-468-4400. Home of the lifetime warranty.
Craving meaty with a side of cheesy and something satisfying to sip at Tim's? Make a meal of it with Tim's new 3-meat hat trick flatbread pizza, new garlic bread, and a peach lemonade quencher. Try it today at participating restaurants in Canada for a limited time.
It's time for Tim's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each order at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
I'll do in there. 4:10. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Terry Ryan with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Can always email us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. TR got a few texts coming. Hey, TR, quick story about Todd. When we were young and riding our bikes around Sherwood Park, he wouldn't ride with us. He'd run. He said if he was going to make it to the bigs, he had to be in great shape. So he ran around the park while we biked.
Who's that?
That's your buddy Todd Clausen.
Oh, yes, about Klaus. Yeah, man, he was great. I went down. So, like, I love the fact that in the Western League, they draft you when you're 14. because then you feel like part of the team. And Tri-City were great. They would bring me down, and I'd practice on the weekends. And when I was 15, I can't remember. I know I played a couple of games, maybe 3. I can't remember, but I know I played at least 2. And they would always put me with Todd and a guy, Ryan Marsh. There you go, a guy. Edmonton sports fans know Ryan. Ryan was in Quesnel with me, went down, became real good friends with Todd. And, they went on the road or something. And he was real nice to me. He was 19, I was 15. And, felt like a brother after like a day. So I often like to mention his name because he was one of my early biggest influences. Great, just an absolutely great human, that guy.
Now we're going to get to the 2-minute warning. I'll say this right now. It might be split 50-50 from our listeners in who they want to see with McDavid. And then, because we started up top of the show, the Oilers 5-on-5 scoring as a team, it's actually pretty good. They're 7th in the NHL. Now it's lower than last year. However, if you get past the guys who are doing very well, it's really 3 of the forwards. Draisaitl's having an unreal year. He leads the NHL in 5-on-5 scoring. He's got 49 points. Zach Hyman, second best season of his career, 5-on-5 in goals. Corey Perry, he's played 18 years. His goal per 60 pace is the 3rd highest of his career. At a guy who's 39. Like, you can't ask for more from Corey Perry. He's got 12 goals, 5-on-5. It's been great. But after that, no one else is even at that average year. And what I say by average is if you played 8 seasons, if you're 4th or 5th, that's average. Well, none of them are there. McDavid's played 10 years. This is actually his lowest production in goals or points per 60 at 5-on-5 in his career. Now, his career level is obviously way higher than most. But just based on what he's done in the past, it's lower. Janmark, worst of his career. Connor Brown, 3rd worst out of 8. Arvidsson, 3rd worst out of 10. Just go down. Jeff Skinner, 10th out of 15 years. Like, just not a guy's not having very good years at all when it comes to goal scoring 5-on-5. And so we looked at it, the Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid trio. Their numbers this year compared to last year in actual goals, in expected goals, and goals, any number you want to look at, they're down quite a bit. So I thought, hey, at some point, why don't you change it? You can always go back to it. But why not try something different? Because maybe by putting Henrique there or Kapanen or Skinner, one of them gets going, either it helps them, or B, if they get going and then you want to go back to Nugent Hopkins there, well, now those guys can maybe bring their confidence down to another line. It can help you out because they got to get some other guys going. You know what? You're getting good chances. They got no finish. That's a problem to me. They can be better than what this group is right now. And a lot of it's like 97 is going to be more productive. I don't care what anyone says. I look at his numbers here lately, and when he went 11 games without a point, 5-on-5, like, come on. It's like, that's never happening again, I wouldn't think. So he'll be better. But if his numbers are struggling and the line's struggling, why wouldn't you try to make a change? At least that's what I would consider if I was them. So, but right now I would say it's kind of 50-50 between Kapanen and Henrique. I'll be honest, I thought there'd be lots more Jeff Skinners. Maybe some of you are like, hey, I don't think Jeff Skinner's going to go there, so I'm not taking that option. Fair point. So, TR, you said that it wouldn't be Henrique. It would either be Kapanen or Skinner for you, correct?
Well, I just think because Skinner, I think Henrique can fit in more slots. And Kapanen, doesn't Kapanen shoot right?
Yeah, and I only brought him up because he's played 70 minutes there, right? Like, Janmark is not an option for me. I guess you could try Brown, but Brown more so played when Hyman was out, right? And I like Kapanen because he's fast and can shoot. I don't think he's a long-term fix, but I might try him for a few games.
Yeah, I see it. I guess Skinner just in my head fits there because he shoots left. He's probably not going to, he's not as versatile, definitely, as Henrique. So I guess my head went there, not out of default, but I do think there's a scoring touch. You can make a case for all 3. Again, if it's me, now you probably try both or 2 of the 3. You can change these things in a game. These guys are big boys. They're good players. They, for the most part, know each other's tendencies. But yeah, you wouldn't mind seeing, a guy catch fire. I don't know why he doesn't play like I did. I got no reason to sit here and sing all the praises of Jeff Skinner, but I think he's got more to give, and who's going to bring it out? I think McDavid can. And I think McDavid is just popping, ready to pop. And he's still the same old Connor McDavid. He just hit a bit of a funk, and it's not going to last. Why not now?
Okay, let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or your AC. Order now at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy, is in a wheelchair, but has always wanted to be in radio, but his disability didn't allow it until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Oh my, could we be in a pickle? The Edmonton Oilers, what do we do now? Drop back 5 yards and punt. Bunt to send the runner. Over. Pass the ball around like Jimmy does. Over at the pinball machine. Throw it up top when the number 2 is on the shot clock. Feed it to our 3-point sniper. Overdrive the green and hope like hell for an incredible chip shot. Okay. Sorry, okay. See that game last night in Buffalo against the Sabres? Haven't made the playoffs in, 54 years? One of the bottom feeders. Bottom feeders, love that name. In the National Hockey League standings, you would think, especially at this junction of the season, mid-March, 18 games to go, you're in a funk. Your record since the Four Nations face-off is 3-6, 9 games, 18 points up for grabs, right? Your Oilers, 6, as in a six-pack, points. And they're having more turnovers than the folks over there on 149th Street at the Bon Ton Bakery. Can't win hockey games that way, and going into the Stanley Cup playoffs with those turnovers, the opposing team will gobble them up. Big time. But there's more. This team is fragile. They look just as nervous, no, probably more than I was, asking Janet King to be my prom date in 1977. They look like they're scared, looking for bad things to happen. And, for goodness sakes, where is the urgency? In the second row, seats 3 and 4 in the dressing room? Oh yes. They forgot it on the bus? Or is it the hotel? And Ryan Nugent Hopkins, white courtesy phone, please. This is, I think, a news story. If you're an Oilers fan, a news story for all the wrong reasons. But as they find their way to New York to clash with the Islanders, Rangers, and Devils, they're going into a city that doesn't sleep. So let's go back. 1977 for a pregame pep talk, Frank Sinatra, a famous line. I'm going to make a brand new start of it. In old New York, you always make it there. You make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York. You know, I've never really liked pickles. 2-minute warning with me, Tater. Gregor Show, Monday, Friday, Sports 1440.
Well, we'll see what they do in their next few games, but they're definitely going to have to be better. I don't think there's any. I said at the start of the road trip that, like, looking at where these teams are in the standings, where the Oilers are, they needed 6 points and obviously got off to the worst possible start. They didn't even get a point in Buffalo. They only scored 1 5-on-5 goal, never led. And now we'll see. They do have the day off today. They practice tomorrow. Then they go back-to-back Thursday, Friday. Now, the back-to-backs are not hard. These are some of the easiest back-to-backs. Probably can stay in the exact same hotel from New Jersey to the island. So, and then you're going to the Rangers. I know they have 3 games in 4 days, but it's the least amount of travel you can have. So, TR, you play like that. That's different than going 3 and 4 if you're playing, in Minnesota and then into Nashville and Chicago. It's just different, right? Like you're not traveling very much there at all. So I look at the Oilers. They're going to have to wake up. Now, the Devils are banged up. They don't have Siegenthaler. They don't have Hughes. They might not have Dougie Hamilton. We'll see. The Islanders, they got nothing to play for, really. Now, the Rangers kind of still in it. But, to me, the Oilers, you've got to find a way to get a little, like, they played so well against Dallas. I thought they played really well against Montreal. And they didn't play awful last night, but I loved your definition was their desperation wasn't there last night.
Yeah, you can see it in, like, I hate to use the same words over and over, but intensity, and it's not always intensity and going out and banging and crashing, although that does help and it's got to be there. But playoffs, to me, those are 2 words that come. It's intensity and desperation. I just can't get over those things in the playoffs. Now, we're really close to the playoffs, and if you don't see either one of those things, I'm not saying consistently. I know it's in we all know it. We've seen this. They're a team of extremes. I don't know why, but they are. And when it comes to goal scoring, when it comes to wins and losses, and apparently posts, but they are a team of extremes. So, for me, the way to at least ensure, like, maximize that potential, especially now when you need these wins, you need to be on a roll. You especially want to be on a roll when they just made some moves. You want everybody to be comfortable, and you need that desperation and intensity. And I just can't stress it enough. I think they've got. Look, here's a guy that really, to me, is emblematic of this. What I'm talking about, Evan Bouchard. I'm not here to knock on him because a lot of people do, and for good reason a lot of the time. And I'm sure I must have, thrown some shade his way at times. But I think he's a great defenseman. But here's the thing. The goal, was it Josh Norris that out kind of strengthened him to the puck? That was a lazy play. He's made a few of those. And especially this year, I don't think his turnover, you would think they lead the team by like 3, but they don't. I forget, but it was fairly respectable, the amount of turnovers and irresponsible plays he makes. But he makes them now. This exact same argument, this debate was happening all of last season. People were talking about CC. They were talking about Bouchard, the giveaways. Bouchard, for every point he scored, people would knock him for a giveaway. But when we got to the playoffs, more often than not, he was pretty lights out, right? And those kind of plays, he didn't make as many of in the playoffs. Of course, someone who has the puck on their stick so much is going to turn it over. But in the playoffs, he had a different kind of desperation and intensity. And we know it's in there. Some guys, it's unfortunate. Some of them make you just, they increase your anxiety. If you're a fan or you're a GM or you're a coach or you're a teammate watching it, but you also know that when push comes to shove, they're probably going to bring their A game, which doesn't come mistake-free, but it comes with an intensity that's playoff hockey that's needed. And I really do believe that will happen for Bouchard and hopefully the rest of the team.
833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, Henrique has 5 shots on net in his last 13 games. One of them bounced off his skating into the net. I would definitely try him up on McDavid and put Nuge as third-line center. Henrique needs to get his offensive game going because having a third-line center that's not shooting, let alone scoring, won't cut it in the playoffs. From Eric. Eric's good stat, buddy. Well, that's, part of change is, okay, you know what? Maybe it helps get McDavid going because what they're doing isn't working. And some would argue that McDavid doesn't need any help. Like he'll figure it out. And I think that's probably fair. There's some validity in that. But at the same time, if you can get, by the process of he gets going, if it gets someone else going, well, that's even better. All right. And the Oilers definitely need, I think, a little bit more pep in their step. Some guys offensively. And looking at Henrique, 5 shots in 11 games. Like, come on. Like you're not doing anything at that point. So
Jason, earlier what you alluded to, and I meant to elaborate on it. It's almost off-putting as a team, as a fan or a follower of the Oilers, how many times they might have it in a good position and not shoot it. And I can't tell you how much that annoys me. There's a confidence that comes with shooting it. Rebounds happen. Just a lot of good things happen when you get it on net. You remember the Four Nations? You know what really stood out to me at the Four Nations Cup? One of the things, like in that first game, I think they were in overtime against Sweden, and it was the whole game. But like McKinnon looked off McDavid more than once. Like it wasn't even close. You're not getting this. I'm good. And he looked so confident shooting the puck, and you're looking at it going, you know what? We're going to score. Like these guys are getting these shots. And it wasn't like they were dipsy doodling and could have got back. Now, of course, I'm not saying you look off Connor McDavid every time. That's idiotic. But there's certain guys on the team, like when McKinnon has it, he's really, really confident. He's going to get that. It's going to get to the cage. If I don't have a play, it's going to get to the cage. It's going to get there strong. And if it doesn't go straight in, it's going to go so hard that it's going to be a rebound. And that kind of mindset, and that certainly most NHLers have it at points. But I just think that kind of a mindset, like be confident, take the shot, take the shot. Numbers are down 5-on-5. You're not intense enough, but you're also not shooting. And there's an intensity to that. If you're not shooting the puck, sometimes it goes beyond unselfishness and it gets down to like you just said, you're not playing with desperation. You want to get it in. What's the easiest way to do it? If we're up by 3, okay, let's try to dipsy doodle. Well, let's get it on net. Let's fire it on net. Let's get rebounds. We got goal scorers. Go score.
Yeah, well, you sometimes get a little simpler. And, when you get a good chance, you got a wide open net from 3 feet, score.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, come on. Like, how that is not considered as egregious as, mishandling a rebound, I don't understand it. I just don't. So, guy missed the net. He had a wide open net. It's from 4 feet, man. He's an NHL player. Put the puck in the net. Like, you might want to say it's a mistake, but then it's no less egregious of a mistake or not more forgivable than a goalie who makes a save like Skinner did. Then he went to grab the rebound and missed it. Now, I haven't seen him do that all year long. If you say, hey, I haven't liked this post-to-post play, okay, we're totally different story. But the goal last night for Tage Thompson, the first goal, I haven't seen Skinner do that all year. He made the save. He went to get the rebound with the stick, and he missed it. So I don't know if I've ever seen him do that, to be honest. Like, that's an oddity one. Sure, it happens. I don't put that under technique. I don't put that under anything else other than, hey, bit of a brain fart. Okay. But it's no different, and it's no less or more egregious than a guy missing a wide open net and hitting the post or just missing the net. Like, to me, they're exact same play. Yeah.
I do. Exactly. I think it's the same. You got to be locked in. And if you're locked in, that doesn't happen. And there's a way to be locked in, man. You're out there and you got to think on your feet. And if you're not locked in and you're not focused, then, it's fractions of seconds that make plays, right? It's just a fraction of a second. And you've got to be ready. You got to be intense and you got to be desperate, man. That's the way it goes.
Yep, totally agree. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you. We'll return. Jason Strudwick will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's the best time of the year, championship season. In the Junior Prospects Hockey League, the quest to claim the Prospects Cup begins with 4 divisions from across Western Canada taking aim. The Hockey Super League's run to the HSL Championship will feature 105 teams battling it out in 4 communities throughout Alberta. And the Female Super League, in its inaugural season, will see teams compete for playoff supremacy. To catch all the championship action, head to silentice.com for league playoff schedules.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions, assemble!
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values. Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
If you didn't find the new RV at last month's RV show, take a look at the used RV show. Over 100 used RVs in tip-top shape. Browse multiple dealers on location with special RV show finance rates. A vast array of units well within your price range. Tent and travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and more. All inspected, certified, and ready for summer. Find your new-to-you RV at 9603 165 Ave. Free admission with a food bank donation. Visit usedrvshow.ca.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for a restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations in Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, Leduc. and start waking up refreshed.
If you change your mind, take a chance on the changing lives. Take a chance. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Gregor, Terry Ryan, Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X as we get to our big guest of the day. Struds On brought to you by the Hockey Super League, a premier hockey solution with a clear path for long-term development, offering borderless hockey, including provincial and cross-province competition. All their playoffs are going on right now. You can catch the action at silentice.com.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you had me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. I mean, you need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, how you doing?
Good. How are you making out?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. Not a great performance, I thought, by the Oilers last night. Offensively against the Buffalo Sabres team that gives up a lot of chances. The Oilers couldn't finish at all. Now we'll start with the defensive zone because I know that that's where he focuses on. Obviously, Stuart Skinner, he makes the save on the, and then he mishandles the rebound. He goes to get it with his stick and misses it. I've had people text in saying, should the defenseman not have just blocked out Thompson so he can't just go straight to the net? What happens on that play?
So it was Tage Johnson's a big guy, big, powerful man. So he has a hard shot. And I agree. Skinner should be able to corral that and swallow it up. But he doesn't. But whether he does or doesn't, the D-man, and I believe it was Wallman and Bouchard, should create a wall to make it harder for him to get to that, him being to the rebound. And it was just like it was a one-on-two basically, and he just plowed right through this. Well, didn't really plow. He just skated right through the two of them and got to the rebound. You have to build layers so it's harder for their other team to get to the net, and they don't do that. So, it's, yes, could Skinner have corralled it? Yeah. But if not, there should be a secondary layer there to help him just swallow that up, and then it's over. Because to me, Tage Thompson twice did the same thing.
Yeah. Well, what was your thoughts on the third goal, his second one?
Yeah. So people are all over Bouchard, and I get it, but let's just review what happened. Paul Colton has the puck at near the blue line, and Leon's kind of coming around him. Paul Colton tries to throw to him. In that area are arguably the two most dangerous offensive player Buffalo has.
Yeah.
Norris and Thompson. So he tries to make a play. I get it. He wants to give it to Leon, but puck management was not there. So he tries to make a play. It doesn't happen. Norris knows what he wants to do. He knows he wants to give it to Draisaitl. So he cheats to it, kicks the puck out, and now Bouchard is under pressure with two guys. They're just flying up the ice at him. So here's what happened. This is the reality. I've been in this situation before. If it's one-on-one, what you do is you try to shield the puck with your body. You get the puck and you kind of push it out. But it's 1-on-2. So now there's two guys going on him. He shields one, the other guy gets the puck. He shields the other guy gets the puck.
Right.
So he tries to kind of split it down the middle. Yeah, he could have poked it behind, or could have tried to poke it behind the net. His stick gets flashed. Could he have been stronger? Yes. But there is no reason in a 2-2 game for Vasily Podkolzin to be making plays like that at the blue line. He's been a pretty good puck manager. I get he wants to give it to Leon because Leon wants it. Okay, great. But the play was, I believe I want to say it was Brown behind the net. Throw it down behind the net. Brown gets it. You keep possession down there and you keep the pressure on Buffalo. Instead, it's a high-risk play with very little reward.
I'll make it clear. If he gives it to Draisaitl's there, Draisaitl's not getting a breakaway. He's not scoring from there. And knowing who you're out against, the situation you're at, the time of the game, the type of game it's been, you're having trouble scoring, they gifted that goal. So yeah, you people can get mad. People get mad at Bouchard and Skinner all day long. Let's look at the two issue in that specific play. It was Paul Colden mismanaging the puck, who's actually pretty good at it. But I thought for most of the game, the Oilers mismanaged the puck and didn't hold on to it and make plays. Some nights you're not going to score. You talked about Brown hit the post. Leon hit the post. Crossbar by Nurse. I want to say Nuge had another one. Like there's 4 or 5 posts. Those could have been goals. They weren't. All right. So then it's not your night for scoring, but manage the puck. I think last night the biggest issue is managing the puck. People all over Bouchard and Skinner. I'm sorry. So Tate Thompson gets that goal. He drives it wide, goes back door on Skinner. Yeah, the play should never have happened. It should never have happened for a number of reasons. So I have been critical of Bouchard and Skinner. Last night, it wasn't their issue. Look at some other issues we saw around the ice for guys that are, way away from the net, making plays that aren't leading to goals for, but result in goals against.
TR?
Struds, what do you think of the Wallman deal? Being a D.
Well, he was funny. It was a little bit like a couple of years when they brought Ekholm. Ekholm was flying around a little bit, but Wallman, I didn't hear anyone talking about Wallman. So he comes in, first impression, really good skater, obviously gets around the ice well. I love how hard he passes the puck. He absolutely rips it when he passes it. And he's strong. I think he's really strong physically. He tips the scales. I think I saw 215, and it's not like he's 6'5". So he's a really strong guy. I think he's going to be a nice addition to this unit. I think that they've needed another true puck mover, a guy that can skate it and pass it. I would play him beside Nurse all day long. He looked comfortable in that position. The other day, I think it gives Nurse, Nurse likes to stretch pass, but I think Wallman's going to make those little quicker passes a little bit more. So that is a pairing I have. And then what would happen is that Kulak will cycle through the pairings. Because let's be honest, when you get to the playoffs, it's, they'll start with 6, they'll go with 5. Now you're running 5 guys deep. All of them, Kulak can skate. Wallman's a really good skater. Nurse can skate. Bouchard and Ekholm aren't shabby skaters either. They're all pretty big. They're all pretty strong. Now I think you have something. So sneaky pickup that wasn't on the radar by Stan Bowman.
And speaking of pickups, after the deadline, who do you think improved the most in the Western Conference after the deadline?
Well, Mikko Ranson's my favorite player. I thought he looked good the other night, and one of my favorite players in the league, I should say. And he's big and strong, but he looked good the first game. But let's just be honest. It is difficult at times to get great players or a lot of players to mix into your lineup. So they got Mikko. You look at Colorado adding Nelson and Charlie Coyle, who's a true third-line center. It's great, but you still have to get that chemistry of players, get the flow, make it happen. So the first couple of games, great, everything's looking good. But what do they look like after game 5, 9, 10, 15? Because now, the excitement wears off. You're part of the team, and now you got to figure out the chemistry, and maybe the legs aren't quite flying around like they were in game 1.
Jason Strudwick joined us. The mismanagement of the puck, Struddy, I think that's valid. I think their lack of attention around the net has been an issue all season long. Just, some other areas too, but I don't want to repeat the same topic every day that people only want to seem to talk about is the goaltending. And, Stuart Skinner mishandled a rebound last night, went to cover with I haven't seen him make that play all year long. Now, if he would have made another one where he just whiffed it on his glove, different story. But I look at the Oilers, and I don't know if you read my article today, Struds, or not, but 9 out of 12 forwards are having well below average seasons 5-on-5 when it comes to goal scoring. Like Draisaitl, Perry, and Hyman are the one kind of propping him up. Rest of the team, including McDavid, not good enough. So if you're Chris Knobloch, you're the coach. The players have, but the coach has an opportunity to try to mix something up, and he can't just always go, we're down 1-0. Let's go to McDavid and Draisaitl, and that's going to solve our problem. It can't always be that because it's not working. So if I give you the option, Henrique, Skinner, Kapanen, who would you move in place of Nuge and then put Nuge somewhere else?
Skinner. You got to give this guy a chance. I know that he likes to hold the puck, but honestly, I thought last night against Buffalo, there was a couple times where he put his head down and drove the net. The one time short side, the next time he wrapped it around, and I believe he touched some iron when he roofed it there. You've got to give him a chance, but you can't just send him out and say, "Okay, buddy, good luck." I'd ask one of my assistant coaches, probably Gully, or even if Knobloch wants to do it, say, look, let's sit down and look how other players have played with McDavid who've had success. This is what they've done. I'm not asking them to change and become a guy's going to hammer guys or anything, but look at the areas of the ice they go to. Look how they give the puck to McDavid and look how they get back. We're not asking you to become this guy, but we're asking you to think, how can I complement McDavid rather than just being a guy who plays beside him? I think that's something that's really important. So I'm putting Skinner there. I've dropped Nuge down to beside Leon. I don't know who I'd put on that far side. Maybe, I don't know if you give Arvidsson another chance in there or cap it in with a little bit more speed. Because you're right, Greg. No one's really, those three you mentioned are going pretty good, but I think that when you go to Leon and Connor together, you're looking for a spark. Well, when's the last time we saw two players not named those guys have a spark, right? Like the duo, a duo that's been, we're really happy. Now, Max Jones got a spark in, but it was more physical, and I guess he made a nice pass to Hyman. But we haven't seen two guys really click and say that line's going or this line's going. It's been a while. They need to figure that out. So Skinner, and then if you put Nuge down with Leon, then probably Kapanen or Arvidsson in that situation, and trying to find something that goes, something to spark them to get someone else going. Like we had Brown going for a while, but that hasn't been gone for a while now.
Yeah, no, I just, to me, do you think Knobloch has to change? Like, it's game 65 coming up. Like, it's not, and you can always go back to Nugent, Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid if you want, right? Like, you can always go back to it, but there's lots of guys not going, including McDavid. Like, that line itself as a trio is down significantly in actual goals and expected goals for. Goals per, pick any number you want. They're down from last year by a decent amount. So why wouldn't you make the change, I guess, is my question.
Yeah. So, you have more access to this than me, but it's rare where we see 1, 2, maybe 3 shifts in a row where the Oilers in the offensive zone and they're just buzzing and just, moving their feet, using their D, exchanging forward and D, all that kind of stuff. And I felt like last year we saw it quite often. They're going, and then they have change line, and now you're in your second or third group. Either you score or you get a penalty or a power play. And we really haven't seen that from that. So are they slower? Yeah, maybe. But, this team is built with some veteran savvy and some smart, so they should know where to be and where to go. I think that this group as a whole has the governor on still, and they got to just let it go, play with some life and play fast, get pucks to the net, but get their feet moving as much as possible in the offensive zone.
Struddy, you look at the Oilers, and last year they weren't dynamite going into the playoffs. They were 4-4-2. In fact, in the last 16 games, they won half of them, right? So I'm never a big believer that you have to go in playing great, but there are certain elements of this team's game. I outlined it last week. Their lack of being able to change a game physically, because not everybody's going to score goals all the time. There's only 3 goals per game for the most part, maybe a little bit more. You have to find other ways to get involved. And like when Trent Frederick comes in, I think he can add that. I think Jones in limited minutes has been able to add that a little bit for him. Is there anything else you'd like to see this team kind of focus on, regardless of wins or loss, but focus on specifically leading into the playoffs?
Yeah, you're right. So you can't just stay, okay, we're going to play good now. You want to see it trending in the right direction, right? And things going well. And they had a good long stretch of good hockey for sure. But right now, it just hasn't been consistent enough. So, I read the article about the hitting, and I think it was really well placed. You need other people to jump in and hit. It can't just be one guy, right? I always felt if you just one guy who's hitting, if he's not on the ice, no one else is hitting. So guys have to be physical. And that doesn't just mean hitting. You know what it means, Greg? It means winning puck battles, right? Getting there first. So, I just talked about the goal last night with Bouchard, but his team, if he could have helped poke that puck out, that's one he could have won. That's a puck battle he could have won. Now he didn't. I'm not blaming on that one, but it's Paul Colson. But that's an example of what it can be. On the first goal, the two guys build a wall in front of Skinner. That's a puck battle or a physical battle, a confrontation that you can win. And so when I talk about them having the governor on physically, it's not just running guys over like we saw Wallman do and Max Jones. It's about winning those puck battles. So that's something I like to see more often is winning puck battles. And let's name the culprits. Brown, Henrique, Janmark, Corey Perry's pretty good at it. Even Hyman, you can go through the list. They can all be more assertive in those things. So that'd be my first one. Then the second one we started this conversation out with, puck management. Knowing where you are, who you're playing with, who you're playing against, where you are on the ice, and choices. If you're coming up and the team is holding the blue line, it's not an unskilled play to chip it behind the D-man standing up, and your centerman or whoever in the middle supporting you grabs the puck. You get the puck with possession, and now you're in the offensive zone. We're not talking about a cross-ice down. We're not talking about a hard rim. Oh, that's unskilled hockey. No, I think it's actually very skilled, because now you're getting the puck in zone with one D-man now, on roller skates at the blue line, and your other buddy's skating downhill getting that puck. So just the puck management and winning those puck battles, and that to me is as important as plowing guys over along the wall.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Like, you got to win more puck battles, and I'm not talking hellacious hits, but just getting it. When you're 40% down from the last 3 years, to me that's a problem. Like, because you just can't tell me that they're especially because they possess the puck more. No, they don't. They don't have better puck possession numbers this year, so that completely goes against the whole theory. I want to look at Wallman for me, like you playing with Nurse, right? That seems kind of like the obvious thing. Ekholm and Bouchard, they haven't played great, all year long. Kulak's had a really good year. When Ekholm comes back, would you consider keeping Kulak with Bouchard just for a bit?
Well, take a look at it. What's going on now? I don't know what's going on with Ekholm. Do you know what is his because I thought he was sick.
Yeah, no, he has a minor little like groin tweak, is my understanding. Okay. Nothing too serious, but obviously the illness. So I think they look and say, hey, we got Jake Wallman. Like, we need Ekholm for April 25th. We don't need him for March 15th.
Yeah. So if that means that you can play Kulak more beside Bouchard, I think that's a fine thing. And let Ekholm. He's not a spring chicken, and to make sure that he's ready and healthy and good to go, I think that's a great. I have no problem with that, but I do want to see Wallman with Nurse, because I think that over the course of the next 6 weeks, whatever it is, and playoffs, I think that's a pairing that could really have some life and bring some life for the Oilers. But this is what I'm going to say. I'm saying, and I'm going to say, if I'm Paul Coffey, listen, you two guys to play together. We're looking for this. We want you to be good defensively. We want you to be physical, both of you. We want you to move the puck. You don't need to lead the rush, but shoot from the point, jump in the play. They can both skate, but be really good defensively and physical, and give them an identity. I think I look through some of the lines of the Oilers, and this is a bit off topic, but what are the identity right now? Some of those lines are moving, changing around all the time. Give them the identity. If the line feels they don't have one, or in the case they're maybe not doing what they're asked to do.
Struddy, quickly, what do you think Colts fans should expect from Daniel Jones?
What's the funniest thing is that I watched this guy play many games, and now it's like he's the prized, horse that everyone has to get, and teams are mad they're not getting them. I'm like, what am I missing here? Now, to be fair, we didn't have the best offensive line there. We didn't really have a lot of people to throw the ball to for him. But, it's like other fans are mad they didn't get Danny Jones. So I don't know. I mean, he's a great guy. Seems like a good guy. And I guess he can maybe run a bit and throw it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm missing. But I've seen him play so many games. I don't get it. I don't get it. He's competing for a top spot with that spot, in that QB spot. So Greg, to be honest with you, I say you can have him. Completely honest, like, you can have them, Colts fans.
Yeah, I would think so. Struddy, have yourself a good one. We'll chat with you next Tuesday.
Yeah, right on, guys. Have a good one.
It's Jason Strudwick. Quick break. We'll come back with 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace install company for sailors because they know the value of a warm port. And they sing, there was a ship who fought the cold, who sailed the sea with a furnace load. She brought the heat to YEG and her name was Legacy. Through icy wind and winter squall, her fire she burned for one and all with a comfort chugging guarantee, and her name was Legacy. No payments, no! Yep, no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. Don't trust just any ports in a winter storm. Trust Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower. Plus, the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
If you didn't find the new RV at last month's RV show, take a look at the used RV show. Over 100 used RVs in tip-top shape. Browse multiple dealers on location with special RV show finance rates. A vast array of units well within your price range. Tent and travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and more. All inspected, certified, and ready for summer. Find your new-to-you RV at 9603 165 Ave. Free admission with a food bank donation. Visit usedrvshow.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Edmonton Oilers. Secure your spot inside Rogers Place. This year's Stanley Cup playoffs becoming an Oilers full or half season ticket holder for 2025-2026. Visit edmontonoilers.com/season seats to join the pre-sale list today.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.454, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Terry Ryan. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick and their experts at the mattress store. You had a tough sleep lately. You wake up, you're more tired than you were when you went to bed. We'll go see their experts, and they'll get you the right mattress so you can sleep.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, probably a few answers here, but what was the most disappointing part of the Oilers' loss to the Sabres last night?
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I talked about intensity. I'll say the turnovers.
Well, to me, their puck management was I'm going to say this, actually. I felt their execution was the problem in all facets, right? You miss a rebound that you should have, and you should cover it. They don't box out. They make some terrible passes. Their puck management, they got wide open nets. They miss it. Puck management was awful.
Question number 2, Sabres captain Rasmus Dahlin was not happy about reports saying he could request a trade if the team doesn't turn around. He didn't say he ever said that. So I want to ask you either way. If you're in charge of the Sabres, how do you get this thing going for Buffalo?
I would get new management the day after the regular season. I would have got new management. I wouldn't have allowed them to make the trades at the deadline. I'm getting new management because they've been there for 5 years and there's been zero improvement. Zero. They're not any better than they were in 2001. 21. TR?
Oh, sorry, I didn't. The with the Sabres.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought you were continuing. I don't know. I mean, that's a lot to unpack. I suppose you could start by. I mean, you keep shipping guys out. At some point, that's the wrong message as well. Guys like Marner are out there. It's unlikely. I don't know. Try to get someone that's a proven, and that's very, very hard to do. I just need one of the best players in the game, but I don't know. Get in someone that's not over the hill. Bring in somebody that's committed and try to teach these guys who technically are veterans, but playing like rookies for the last 4 or 5 years, teach them something about the game.
Question number 3. We're heading into the final stretch of the NHL season. Who has been the biggest disappointment this year in your eyes? We can be talking individual player or team as a whole.
I mean, I was going to go, if you asked me this a month ago, I'd probably say the Rangers. If you asked me this any time, I suppose, throughout the season, it could be the Sabres because I really thought they were going to take off. Ottawa as well, but they got a little bit better. But to me, I don't know. I just can't look past the Nashville Predators and then Steve Stamkos, who's just, it's one thing to score a lot. It's another thing to be reliable. He's generally been real reliable. Nashville, to me, going into the season, I don't know. I didn't really think and dissect the move, but I thought they'd be a lot better than they are.
Biggest disappointment. Well, the New York Rangers going from President's Trophy winner, they're going to miss the playoffs. So I don't see how it can be anybody more than the New York Rangers.
Question number 4. Who's your NBA MVP right now? SGA, the Joker, or other?
SGA. I don't even think it's a discussion. He wins.
Yeah, I think SGA, and not only does he have the offensive numbers this year, but he's improved in blocks, turnovers. I'm probably a little bit biased being Canadian, as we all are, but I legit think he's the MVP.
And final question. On this day in 2018, The Black Panther became the 5th Marvel movie to earn $1 billion worldwide. In honor of that, what is your favorite Marvel movie of all time?
Oh, man. I love, God, so many of these. So many are really good. I enjoy them. Love the odd popcorn movie. You don't have to think too much about it. Iron Man, all of those. But so first would be the first Spider-Man. I think I don't know in what order those came out, but I remember it saying, how are they going to do Spider-Man? How is he going to be swinging around these buildings? And I don't know how they're going to, even with CGI. Tobey Maguire, are you kidding me? I was thinking to be somebody older like George Clooney or whatever. And it worked out. I thought it was great. It really, really, I left that movie thinking, wow. I went in thinking it was going to be a stinker. I loved it. And I said after that, it would be the 3 Iron Mans.
Favorite Marvel movie. Cons, you pick yours first.
Yeah, before Benny was born, I tried to go and watch as many of these as I could, and I think I got through 5 or 6 of them on Disney Plus. I really enjoyed Captain America, the First Avenger, kind of the whole backstory and how that came to be. Thought that was kind of a good one. So Iron Man, the first one was great as well, but I'll go Captain America.
You know what? I went through the entire list. Like, I've seen Black Panther, and that might be it. Like, no, I think I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. So, so I guess I will go with Black Panther because that's the only one I've seen. Like, I haven't seen Ant-Man, never saw Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think the Spider-Man that are in there are the ones I've seen. Never saw any of the Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's great.
I've never seen any of the Iron Mans. So
Ant-Man and Iron Man, I find got a lot of humor to them.
I'm like Connor Halley of movies when it comes to Marvel. I clearly haven't seen any. So I have to go with Black Panther because I think it's one of only 2 on that list that I've seen. Maybe as my son gets older, I'll watch him. But yeah, that was just never a thing for me. So yeah, we'll see.
What do you think, Matt?
Oh, well, I'm Captain America. I've seen a few of them, and going back to like the old Spider-Man movies, TR, I'll say I loved Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man in the first 2, And then in the third one, when they had Topher Grace come in, Eric Foreman from that 70s show, and then Spider-Man Peter Parker had that weird dance scene where he just was walking down the street and like his bangs were down.
That wasn't.
I'm surprised these are the scenes that stood out to you. Yeah.
I was like, come on, we've gone a little too far here. So after that one, I kind of dipped out. To be honest with you guys, I haven't even seen either or any of the new Spider-Mans. I think there's a couple different variations at this point. Tom Holland and
like I've seen the one that's more digital with my son, and that's the one I've seen, but I don't even know what the proper name of it is. But it's just like that's the one where it's all like the screen, it's all technology. It's very different. So I don't even know how you'd how to describe.
I just saw the recent
I don't even know
Captain America on my own.
the new one just came out, right?
Just came out. I went to see it and really liked it. Got myself a popcorn type pop and sat back. I go to a lot of movies on my own, and those kind I particularly enjoy. I don't know what it is, the kid in me maybe, but you know, when I was the other thing when I'm growing up, Superman. I remember the first one. He just massive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, how did he do this? How was he flying around? And you know, and like, to me, it was crazy that Clark Kent, who was a Christopher Reeve,
yes,
could do that. And so, you know, you kind of grew up with it a little bit. And then, you know, there were iterations. There was even, remember the show Greatest American Hero? That was funny, but it was about a hero. Like, I don't think that existed as much in the 60s and 70s outside of the comic book land. I don't know what the first one would probably be Superman. But so when Marvel kind of hit and I'm in my late 20s, late teens, early 20s, and all that started to be a thing, I think it just kind of was a natural projection that my movie-going self really looked forward to, just because of the time my life was evolving.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's the one I've seen, Cons. So I just want to get the proper name for it. Yeah. Awesome. TR, we will chat with you for a bit on Thursday as the Oilers are back in action, taking on the New Jersey Devils. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some new line combinations. We will find out then. Have a good one.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Edmonton. Catch you guys on the rebound in just a couple of days.
Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca.
It's a Sports 1440 update.
Busy night on the ice night in the NHL, getting going shortly. You got the Bruins, Panthers, Jackets, and Devils. Flyers host the Sens, Golden Knights in Pittsburgh. Later on, Hurricanes hosting the Lightning, Avs in Minnesota, Jets host the Rangers, Canucks taking on the Canadians, Ducks host the Caps, Islanders in Los Angeles, and the Sharks host the Preds in the association. Just 4 games tonight, 2 of which get going in about 2 minutes. Cavs and Nets and Pistons, Wizards. Later on, you got the Bucks, Pacers, and then at 6 o'clock, Pelicans taking on the Clippers. In the AJ tonight, Fort Mac in action, heading to Camrose. You also have the Thunder taking on the Storm. Both those games start at 7 o'clock. And in the PWHL, Charge taking on Minnesota. That gets going shortly. Tiger Woods still on the sideline, is now indefinite. The 15-time major winner announced today that he underwent surgery for a ruptured Achilles at 49 years old. He says he is now focused on recovery. And from the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs signing cornerback Christian Fulton to a 2-year, $20 million deal. All-pro returner Kevontae Turbin re-signing with the Dallas Cowboys, 3 years, $18 million. And free agent quarterback Daniel Jones signing with the Indianapolis Colts. It's a 1-year deal worth $14 million. Coming up in our 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet and Derek Van Dies from NHL.com. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
Riverside Marine and Motorsports are back for the 2025 Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show, March 21st and 23rd. Discover new 2025 models and exclusive offers like Yamaha finance rates and big rebates. Riverside Marine and Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Alberta's data center industry is booming, and Silent Air is leading the way. We design and build critical infrastructure that powers AI, the cloud, and the internet. And we need skilled trades to help us shape the future. Right now, we're hiring apprentice and journeymen and women electricians, plumbers, and other trades. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, and real career growth. Apply today at silent-air.com. That's silent-aire.com. And build the future with us.
Introducing the new McSpicy from McDonald's. It looks like a regular chicken sandwich, but it's actually a spicy chicken sandwich. McSpicy. Consider yourself warned. Limited time only. Participate in McDonald's in Canada.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold to the vents, start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
If you didn't find the new RV at last month's RV show, take a look at the used RV show. Over 100 used RVs in tip-top shape. Browse multiple dealers on location with special RV show finance rates. A vast array of units well within your price range. Pendant travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and more. All inspected, certified, and ready for summer. Find your new-to-you RV at 9603 165 Ave. Free admission with a food bank donation. Visit usedrvshow.ca.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for a restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations in Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, and Leduc, and start waking up refreshed.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Step up to the plate for a Grand Slam evening at the Field of Dreams Gala, presented by the Riverhawks Community Foundation. Toronto baseball legend Joe Carter joins us for a fireside chat, along with live music, a 4-course meal, and live and silent auctions. Test your ball skills with batting cages and pitching machines. Your ticket helps reduce barriers in sports for you. Don't miss Field of Dreams Gala, April 5th at the Wyndham South Hotel. For tickets and info, visit riverhawksfoundation.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.510, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. DeAndre Hopkins to the Ravens. Not sure how he has much left, but geez, good for him. 6 sheets to probably catch 60 balls. Not bad. Not bad at all. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website with 100% of the revenue staying right here in the province of playalberta.ca. Oilers day off. There is one thing we haven't discussed, and we'll talk about now with Spec as we get to the Spec report brought to you by GS Construction, and they are big in the community. While they do a lot of building, they also do a lot of sponsorship and donations for many charities. So a hat tip for GS Construction for not only working in your community, but supporting the community as we welcome in Mark Spector. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Oh, pretty fair. Greg's, what's going on? I just heard Struds going off there.
Well, there's lots of things, about the Oilers. Like I thought their puck management was terrible. I don't think they were clearly the more skilled team, but they didn't play like the more skilled team last night at all. I thought the puck management was brutal at times. I think they missed a lot of really good chances. And as much as you want to get mad at, hey, should Skinner have controlled the rebound? Yes. So that's one mistake he makes, and people think like that's the only mistake to be talked about. I don't get it. Like there's lots of mistakes in that game by lots of guys that continue to happen. I want to focus on their 5-on-5 scoring because to me, that's an issue when 75% of your forwards, 9 out of 12, are having well below average career years. So I'm just talking like their career average, they're all below it except Perry, Hyman, and Draisaitl. To me, that's an issue that if I'm the head coach, I got to look to try and rectify.
Oh, listen, that's been something that's sort of been on my radar. I haven't boiled it down to 5-on-5. I'm just overall, there's too many guys who year over year aren't the player they were last year. And it's hard, when there's 2 or 3 guys, that's one thing. But frankly, I mean, how many guys did you count who are ahead, who are having a better year this year? 3 guys?
Well, no, just better than their career average.
Okay.
Perry, Hyman, and Draisaitl. That's it. And I just went career average. I don't expect players to all have a best year. Like it's ridiculous to think all of your guys are going to, I'm just talking be average. Like what's their average? They're like, this is McDavid's worst season out of 10.
It
in
is.
goals for per 60 and points for per 60 at 5-on-5. Worst in 10. Janmark's worst of his career. Brown, 6 out of 10. Kapanen, 6 out of 8. Arvidsson, 8th worst out of 10. Go down the list. Like it's a problem. Skinner's 10th worst out of 15. And I do it per 60 so people can say, minutes played or whatever. That's why you do it per 60, just to say, hey, how are they different? And they got way too many guys that aren't producing. Now, strangely, the Oilers as a team are still good, but it's mainly because Draisaitl leads the NHL in 5-on-5 scoring, and Hyman and Perry. Like Corey Perry's having one of his best seasons based on per minute play this year.
Yeah, and I don't want to belittle Perry. I mean, the guy's got more goals than Elias Pettersson, who makes 11.5 or 11.6. But I will say this, that it doesn't, it's going to help you win if Perry's good. That's a pretty evident statement. If Perry's good and the right guys aren't also good, you're not going anywhere, right? Like, as much as we love Corey Perry and respect him and all those things, he's having a hell of a year. He's your 4th line right winger. The wheel doesn't turn around your 4th line right winger, right? So the important guys, and I mean no disrespect, the most important guys aren't having the years they have to have for this team to go somewhere and do something. And it kind of boils a little bit back down to that old hockey cliche, Jay, that your best players got to be your best players, doesn't it?
Oh, sure they do. Yeah. Hey, your goalie's got to be better. It's got to be more consistent. No question. But yeah, they got a lot of their better guys. I agree that Corey Perry, hey, good for him. He's played great, but they got way too many other guys that aren't doing their job on this team. And last night, the attention to detail was an issue. But I do want to ask you something. McDavid, I don't know if you saw, did anybody ask him, like, was he mad that they didn't call a timeout? They had 2 faceoffs in the last minute and a half. They didn't call a timeout.
I don't know what happened there. I think both faceoffs were an icing, if I'm not mistaken. So all I could think of was that, like, after the first, I guess the second icing, they had a close-up on McDavid. I wasn't there. I'm in Edmonton. So they had a close-up on McDavid as he skated back to the bench, and he was skating back to the circle, and he was looking at Knobloch like, are we taking a timeout? That's what the body language I read, he was checking to see. And then they focused in on Knobloch, And he had a look in his face like he was thinking pretty hard. Obviously, he's considering a timeout. Like every coach in the world is considering a timeout. I wish I was there. I'd like to know why Knobloch decided not to. Maybe he felt like their best defenders were tired and the Oilers had an edge. Maybe that's what he thought. I don't know if Connor didn't agree with that call or what, but they didn't call a timeout, and a lot of people would have.
Yeah, and I'm not, hey, just because you call a timeout doesn't mean you're going to score the goal, but it is, and that's what, like, I get to Knobloch, and it's not the coach's fault. Players are missing wide open nets, right?
No.
Just, it's not the coach's fault. However, it's his problem to solve when 9 of 12 forwards are having below career average years, 5-on-5. So to me, the Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman line hasn't produced near to the level they did last year together as a trio. I outlined all the numbers. It's not the same.
No.
So I'm not taking Hyman away from McDavid. That makes no sense to me because he is one of the few guys who's scoring, right? I'm not taking that away from McDavid. So to me, it's Nugent Hopkins. So you got Skinner, you got Kapanen, you got, I guess Perry, but I wouldn't put him there. I don't think he can play enough minutes. Or you got Henrique. Who would you put there? And do you think the coach is going to change that line or stick with status quo?
I don't think he'll change it. First of all, if I was going to put someone there for the game tomorrow, I would put, let's see, who do I want there? One of the things that Nugent Hopkins just hasn't been effective, I'm not sure Henrique's my guy. Kapanen, maybe I'd take a run at Kapanen. I wouldn't think that would last. The guy I'd put there, I'd like to be able to put there is Frederick. That's a guy I'd like to put there. I realize he's not ready yet. But to me, I wouldn't mind seeing Frederick there. Not because I think he's going to score 40 goals next to McDavid, no. But he's the kind of guy like Podkolzin is for Draisaitl, where he'll go get you pucks. He'll keep the flies off McDavid. He'll dig pucks out of the corner. He can skate real well. So I know I didn't answer your question very well because I know Frederick isn't playing, but that's the kind of guy I want with McDavid. I'm just not sure they have him.
Well, you got to try somebody because what they don't have isn't working, right? And it's not just that it's not working there; it's other guys around the lineup. Like to me, it's insanity to just say, "Well, you know what? We don't have a guaranteed guy, so we're not going to try something different." Like it's game 65 for God's sakes. You got to try something. That combination is not working, so maybe it changed. You can always go back to it, but to just stick with it, thinking it's automatically going to improve, to me seems odd. Because right now, the only solution is, we're down a goal. We'll play McDavid with Draisaitl.
I know. Why can't it should be Skinner. That's who it should be. He's the one top 6 pedigree player on that team who should be able to slot in for Nugent Hopkins, who needs to get replaced, in my opinion, as well. He's had 65 games to get it rolling, and he's not doing it. Should be Skinner. Why isn't it?
Well, I think for a variety of reasons. I think they made an error in evaluation. I don't think he fits necessarily his style of play with McDavid, right? But and the thing is, I don't think they don't need a 40-goal scorer to play there, right? Like you don't I know Calgary did it once. It was a rarity. You don't have 3 40-goal scorers in the same line, right? It just doesn't happen in today's NHL. It's not going to happen. So especially because those guys need to score a lot in the power play. So you just need somebody who's going to help contribute more than what has been right now. I don't know if Adam Henrique will do it. I don't know if Kapanen will do it. I don't know if Skinner will do it, but I would try it, is my point. Rather than just give up and wave the white flag, I would look as a coach to say, okay, what else can we do? Because what we're doing isn't working.
No, there's no doubt we're 65 games in here, and there's certain things that are becoming a recurring theme in this season. And we don't love most of them. Not a lot of them are positive recurring themes, other than Darnell Nurse playing really, really well, which is a nice recurring theme because, if you're an Oilers fan, it is. And Draisaitl scoring almost every game and getting points every game. That's a nice recurring theme. But, I listened to Shoresy on your show there earlier on, and when he talked about guys passing up shots right in the slot, he's talking about Connor McDavid. I've made a point in my career not to try to tell Connor McDavid how to play hockey, and I have no business doing that. But he does stand in prime scoring position and pass the puck to someone who is not in prime scoring position at least twice a game, right? At least twice a game. So I'm not telling him. Maybe not maybe. He knows more than I do about what to do with the puck. But I'll tell you what, I think he's reinventing the sport when he stands 14 feet out with an open wrist shot and passes to some guy in the corner. I'm not sure how that works, man.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It is. It's totally fair. There needs to be lots of guys on this team can be 1 or 2% better from the goalie. And now the goalie might have to be 4 or 5. That's fine. But I think the notion in Edmonton right now among some people is, well, the goal once they got a new goalie, everything's solved. He doesn't hit. He doesn't forecheck. He doesn't score goals. And don't tell me that goalie play has any influence on the other stuff. It's garbage. Okay, it's garbage excuse. He's not the reason the Oilers are 27th in rush chances against, high danger. He's not the reason they're 27th in odd man rushes since November 15th. Okay, because if anything, if they were that worried about their goalie, then they'd be defending better. So I don't buy it for a second. There's other areas of the team that can improve. They're not a terrible team. The Oilers are still a good team. But if they want to be a championship team, they need to get more consistency in a lot of facets of their game.
Oh, they're not close to that level at this point. And I'm not going to say that they can't get there. I am watching the games tick by. We're all watching the games tick by. And there's certain guys that if this team's going to win, like I've said this 10 times about Bouchard, you can win a Stanley Cup with Bouchard playing at his top level because that's how good he is. But I'm not sure the way the Oilers are structured, how important he is to their team, how much ice time he gets and the role he plays. If he's rolling along here at 65, 70%, I don't think they can win. That's how much they count on Evan Bouchard. Maybe it's not fair. Maybe they should get another guy and count on him instead. But they count on Bouchard. He's that important. And last night he's could well have prevented 2 goals against and failed to do so. I know he scored, but at this level, you could probably say the same for Connor McDavid. Can you win when Connor McDavid's having the worst year of his career? Maybe you can't, Jason. Maybe you can't.
No. Well, the great news is they can't win or lose the cup now anyway. So when the regular season's over, it starts again, and they'll have to be better. But there are elements of their game that I think need to improve beyond goaltending, and it's okay to talk about it.
Well, I thought that last night they were really good too. Honestly, I thought we've watched them lose some games here where they just got smoked and they weren't very good. They were way better than Buffalo for a good chunk of that game. To me, if I'm trying to lay blame last night, they gave up 3 goals. Big deal. They should have scored 5 or 6. That was a wide open hockey game that they should have easily got to 4 last night. I mean, no problem get to 4. So if I'm looking to paint a brush over who I'm blaming last night, it's the guys in the offensive zone who get paid to score goals. Bouchard, I didn't like him in his own zone. Who cares? Skinner gives up 1 rebound. Who cares? They had numerous chances to score goals, and guys didn't bury it, didn't bear down. So that that loss is on the shooters in my books all day long.
Yeah, totally fair. Spec, have yourself a great day. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
Hey, sounds good, Jake.
Okay, have a good one. That's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. DVD joins us. More hockey talk. We got more on the push of the playoffs. Some interesting news looking around the out-of-town scoreboard and more on the Gregor Show when we return, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wow. Get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Some things are just unpredictable, like this weird winter we're having. Should I wear my snowsuit today or my Speedo? Come on, you love it. But there's one thing in this city you can always count on. That's always predictable. The incredible service at Metal Supermarkets. Metal cut to your precise requirements in no time. Plus in-house metal bending. Predictable, professional. The convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
The place for all the sports action you can handle. The Sports Bar at Century Casino Edmonton. With big screens everywhere you turn. There's never a bad seat in the house. Plus food and drink features with something for everyone. Small bites to big bites. It's a top shelf menu of all your favorites. So bring your friends and catch the Oilers watch parties throughout March. Plus tons of other sports, so you're always entertained. Every day is game day at Century Sports Bar and Lounge.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved equipment auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, crawler dozer, excavators, mini excavators, platform lifts, skid steers, snorkel lifts, street sweepers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, utility vehicles, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian, and support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2-4s for May long. See more at sherbrooke.liquor.com.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, man. It's a busy day. It's almost over. It's flying right by. I hope you had an awesome day. You can make your way home safe and sound, which is great. Lots going on tonight. We'll get to all of that coming up in a sec. But first, let's go in the room, brought to you by Silent Air, the global leader in data center manufacturing. They're hiring trades right now. Go to silent-aire.com. That's silent-aire.com. As we welcome into the show from NHL.com, covers the Oilers, the Flames, the Jets, and the Canucks, Derek Van Diest joins us. DVD, how you doing, my man?
Good, Jason. How are you doing today?
Ooh, I'm good. You know what? Frustrating loss for the Edmonton Oilers last night against a team that they just can't win in Buffalo. It's stunning to me how they can't beat the Buffalo Sabres. But do you think Chris Knobloch, I want to talk about the offense for a second, because so many guys are struggling 5-on-5 based on their career averages.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Knobloch looks at a different option on the first line left wing?
I think he might. I think he's got to do something because this team has been, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like, you got to do something, and like either that or change up the power play or do something. I think you're looking at a guy like, what does Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has 39 points this year or something like that, and he's 2 years removed from a 100-point season. Like, there's just too many guys not producing on this team right now, and I know that you look at that game last night, and a lot of people are pointing the finger at Stuart Skinner, but you guys score more than 2 goals if you go into Buffalo with that offense. I know they hit the post 5 times, and apparently they were goalied again. Like, how many times can this team get goalied with all that offensive firepower? And Jeff Skinner comes back and, he gets a nice ovation. I mean, it would have been nice to kind of contribute, but they got to get going here. Like, it's not a switch you can just flip. They got to get going offensively. They got to create more. They got to generate more. And it's throughout the lineup here. You're not getting much production from, Zach Hyman. I know he scored a couple goals the other day, but he's a 50-goal scorer. Nowhere near that this year. Nugent-Hopkins, they're not getting anything from their bottom 6. Those guys got to start producing. So you got to start chipping in here, or else, it's going to be a short playoffs, because you can't just turn it on. And I think there's got to be some urgency to this team's game, and I didn't see too much of it last night.
No, I agree with you. Like, they were clearly the more skilled team. They had the puck more, but their execution was their downfall. A rebound control has to be better. Bad play at the offensive blue line leads to an odd man rush. Wide open nets, hitting the goalpost, missing the net. Those are execution plays, or being wide open in the slot and then trying to pass it through 4 sticks rather than shoot it. Like, their execution wasn't there. I would argue the execution and not call a timeout wasn't there. So lots of different factors to me led to that loss for the Oilers. It's not crippling for them. It just, with a loss like that, if you're trying to catch Vegas, I just think it makes it way harder. And don't look now, but like, the LA Kings are close enough that they could get home ice in the first round. So, like, the Oilers here, they kind of got to wake up. They can't afford more losses against and they don't do it often. They've done pretty well at beating bottom teams, except Buffalo. It's the one bottom team they can't win on the road.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they lost against Buffalo, and then they lost against Anaheim. So, those are points that are going to come up and catch up to you later on. And you're right. I think this team wants to win the division, and it's there for them, because Vegas is stumbling a little bit too. They're leaving the door open, and Edmonton's not going through it. Like, you look, if they win last night, they would have pulled within 2 of Vegas, put some pressure on them. You got to put pressure on them. You can't just concede first place and say, okay, well, we'll play Los Angeles for a 4th time, and, hopefully we'll beat them a 4th time. Like, they have to have some urgency in the game. And I think that's the thing that kind of bothered me last night. That it's like, sometimes you're right. They're giving up shots from the slot. They're not making the smart play. They're not making the simple play. They're getting outworked for the puck. They're losing battles in the corner. They're losing battles in front of the net. It's just, there's too many little things right now that are adding up to big things. And I think that's the problem when you're trying to clean up your game. It's just when you have those little things, when you're losing battles, you're losing stick battles, when you're making bad plays with the puck, when you're not protecting the puck, where the puck's bouncing over your stick when you have a chance, when you're missing wide open nets, or you're not burying those opportunities. You got to bear down on those opportunities. Then that's a problem. And I think that's the issue right now, especially when guys are struggling. You got to bear down. You got to bear down and make sure you score on those opportunities. And they didn't, and they squandered way too many opportunities last night. And, you got a sense that they were like, okay, well, we'll just win the game in the 3rd period. But obviously another bad play. Bouchard gets beat to the puck, gets out muscled to the puck. It's in the back of the net. Goalie doesn't bail you out. And just too many things right now. Too many deficiencies I see in the Oilers game. Little things that are adding up to big things.
Yeah, that's fair. Looking at the speaking of little things that add up to big things, DVD, the Vancouver Canucks seem to be the never-ending drama story. So they don't trade Brock Besser, and then his GM comes out and basically says, well, no one wanted him. He's basically untradeable. I think they said that on Friday. Like, it's stunning to me. The Vancouver Canucks organization, they can't get out of their own way. Like, if now they had offered Brock Besser 5 years at $8 million, and then they come out and say, wow, no one really wanted to trade for him. And you're just like, well, are you trying to minimize your own player in negotiations, or are you just trying to help him leave? Like, I really don't understand what that organization's doing.
I could not believe when I heard that, Patrick Alvin saying, well, if you would have seen what they offered me, I would have had to run out the store. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, I don't know what they're doing. If they're coming or going, they're having issues there. And I don't know who's pulling the strings. Is it Rutherford? Is it Alvin? You got a coach there that I think doesn't want to be there anymore. Like Rick Tocchet's going, what am I doing here? You got guys that aren't his guys or aren't his type of players. You're trading away a guy like JT Miller, who's his type of guy. You want to trade away Besser, who's his type of guy. I just don't know what the situation is there. And I know that Vancouver, we're probably a step or two ahead of where they thought they would be last year, but they haven't built on that at all. They haven't taken the next step. If anything, they've regressed. And now what are they doing? What's the plan now? And you have one of the best defensemen in the world on your team. You're not going to rebuild with him on your blue line. You want to reload. You want to be a competitive team. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but to say that, well, I couldn't get anything for him. I could not believe like he would go that and say that publicly. You just say, well, if the trade wasn't there, but not, you should have seen what teams were offering me for him. It was ridiculous. And I was like, wow, like that. What does that say to your player? Yeah. Basically, I was trying to get rid of you, but nobody wanted you type thing. So yeah, there's a lot of problems in Vancouver right now, and they're still fighting for a playoff, so they're still there. But there's a lot of issues with that hockey club, and a lot of it starts with Pettersson. Like, okay, they kept you, you won the battle, they kept you over JT Miller. Now you got to step up your game, and he hasn't done that yet. So there's some issues there, big time issues.
Like honestly, if you're Vancouver now and Brock Besser walks, so now you've lost Miller and Brock Besser. And the interesting thing is, like, Brock Besser's having a down year, but if you look at, so Brock Besser was one, and they have the number, Woodley was telling me about it. Brock Besser is one of the best guys in the league at screening goalies. Now, he doesn't get an assist on the goal, but he's done very well at screening goals, especially on their power play last year, right? Where he was right in front, direct screen. They look at it because they look through, when goal, they judge, they track all the goals by the goalies and what they allow, but they track what they're facing. And Besser was one of the best, if not the best, at screening that led to goals. So this year, he's not on their power play. Their power play's down, and they're wondering why. Like, why would you take off one of the better net front presence, even though maybe he's not scoring, but his play is leading to your team scoring?
No, I agree 100%. And I don't know what's happening there. But you look at Quinn Hughes is their leading scorer by a mile. Like, he's up, he's got 60 points. The next guy is Besser at 38. Like, your defenseman is your leading scorer. Pettersson's a 100-point player. He's got 38 points this year. You talk about a drop off. You talk about guys dropping off. They're really struggling there. They're struggling offensively. They're struggling defensively. But I just don't know what direction they're going. Like, what is the plan? Now you're going to lose Besser for nothing. He's going to walk away. And now what? What do you get? What do you have for him when you have nothing for him? So, I'm not certain of what the plan is in Vancouver. There may be too many, cooks in the kitchen there. Aquilini, I'm sure, has his hands on that. And I just know right now they got a really good coach, and we're talking, and he's getting frustrated. You can see it on an unlikely basis how frustrated he is with this hockey team. And will he be back next season? I don't know. You let him walk, and then there's another big part of your hockey club. So, yeah, they have to figure it out in Vancouver. They have to figure it out quick. They may get in the playoffs this year, but if they do, it won't be a long run.
Well, you know what? They might not get in because Dustin Wolf is playing unreal for the Calgary Flames. And the Flames are still in the playoff spot, right? There's each team has 19 games left, and they're one game ahead of them. Now, I'm not sure either team would be able to give the Winnipeg Jets, much trouble, but because no offense to them, none of them are the Colorado Avalanche who just skated them into the ground last year in the playoffs. But you know what? It would be good to see. Obviously, you got the St. Louis Blues. Can't count them out, although they have 2 or 3 games played. Even Utah is still kind of in the mix. For them, they did lose, though, last night in overtime against Toronto. But when you look at Calgary, Vancouver, St. Louis, and Utah, is there one of those teams you like more than the other to make the playoffs?
Oh, I do like Calgary, and I think you're right. It starts with Dustin Wolf. He's having a great year, and it's funny because he's paid his dues, right? He played in the American Hockey League, was goaltender of the year twice in the American Hockey League, was MVP of the American Hockey League. He comes up here. Last year, I thought, he's a little guy. He's not a big goalie. He's really quick. He reads the play really well. I think last year when he came up here, he's getting beat over the shoulder a lot. And I thought, oh, man, if you're a little guy, you're getting beat over the shoulder, that's going to be a problem. Good for Calgary. They stuck with him. They said, no, we think this guy can play. We're going to give him an opportunity. He's paid his dues, and he's figured that out. He's got that out of his game. So he's so quick side to side. He reads the play really well. He's a battler. Guys in front of him. So he's, you're talking about a guy that I think should be in the contention for the Calder Trophy. I'm not sure if he'll win it. Just with you got Lane Hudson in Montreal doing what he's doing, Celebrini doing what he's doing. But I think it's a big reason, and I also like the cohesion of that group in Calgary. And you talk about a team that everyone written off. They said this team's not going to go anywhere. They got off to a good start, and everyone said the wheels will eventually fall off in Calgary. Everyone's saying the wheels will eventually fall off. This is a team that's playing with a chip on their shoulders. They work hard. They play hard for their coach, and they want to prove everybody wrong. And I think you're talking about a team with direction. These guys have direction. They have a good young team, and they're really playing hard. So I think right now Calgary's in the best position to make the playoffs, and I'd be happy. That'd be great if both Calgary and Edmonton make the playoffs. I think it's good for hockey. It's good for the province. Good for the Western Conference. But yeah, they've come in and surprised a lot of people. A lot of people thought, okay, when they've dipped a little, okay, this is it. The real Calgary Flames going to show up. But I think they're much more talented than people give them credit for, and they're showing that right now.
Do you which of the games, because they're going to split the games with Skinner and Pickard, what do you think they do for goalie splits Thursday, Friday?
Well, I would probably play Skinner against the Rangers.
Well, that's Sunday because they got the Devils.
Sorry. So we got Devils Islanders. Sorry. I would, you look at those. I'd go back with Skinner against the Jersey, and I'd play Pickard against the Islanders. And I think those are two very winnable games. I think the last three games are all very winnable games. But yeah, I think you look at the better team, and obviously the Jersey Devils are the better team. I think you go with Skinner and then Pickard with the Islanders. And I know you got to get your goalie to find his game, and I know that there are some struggles there that you're going to go with Skinner in the playoffs. So you got to let him. You got to keep throwing him out there. Let him work the kinks out of his game. Let him work things out of his game. So you hope by the time playoff comes, he's back to the guy that you saw last year in the playoffs. Later on in the third round and the fourth round. So you got to let him work things out. So I think you got to play him against the better opposition. And I think it's also psychological thing too. When you start your starting goalie against the better team, then the guys go, okay, this is the better team. We got to get out. We're getting our number one guy going. So I think that's probably how they'll do it. But I could be wrong, but I that's how I would do it anyway.
All right, DVD, have a good one, buddy. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
That's Derek Van Dies from NHL.com. Just a quick point on that. Stuart Skinner has yet to start 4 consecutive games this season. So he started the last 3, Montreal, Dallas, and Buffalo, which probably leads me to believe that it's going to be Pickard Thursday and Skinner Friday. Quick break. We'll come back. We got some playoff news to get to on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Volvo Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Introducing the new McSpicy from McDonald's. It looks like a regular chicken sandwich, but it's actually a spicy chicken sandwich. McSpicy. Consider yourself warned. Limited time only. Participate in McDonald's in Canada.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for a restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations in Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, Leduc, and start waking up refreshed.
Alberta's data center industry is booming, and Silent Air is leading the way. We design and build critical infrastructure that powers AI, the cloud, and the internet. And we need skilled trades to help us shape the future. Right now, we're hiring apprentice and journeymen and women electricians, plumbers, and other trades. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, and real career growth. Apply today at silent-air.com. That's silent-aire.com. And build the future with us.
If you didn't find the new RV at last month's RV show, take a look at the used RV show. Over 100 used RVs in tip-top shape. Browse multiple dealers on location with special RV show finance rates. A vast array of units well within your price range. Tent and travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and more. All inspected, certified, and ready for summer. Find your new-to-you RV at 9603 165 Ave. Free admission with a food bank donation. Visit usedrvshow.ca.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Spring melt is here, and with it comes the risk of flooding basements, foundations, and window wells. Keep an eye on excess water runoff and protect your home. Call Avalon Construction at 780-468-4400, home of the lifetime warranty.
Edmonton's biggest St. Paddy's Day party is at On the Rock.
Party at OTR March 14th to 17th as we celebrate St. Paddy's Day the way it needs to be celebrated.
Look at the Irish, for the Irish. 96 hours of green beer.
5,760 minutes of mayhem, including live entertainment.
Irish dancers.
And all the festive Irish food you can handle.
Celebrate St. Patrick's Day at On the Rocks. On the Rocks.
Your Kiss Me, I'm Irish headquarters.
Only if you're into that sort of thing.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
At Cross Mitsubishi, you can rest easy. You're getting a great deal this month. So hurry in now. Lease the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage for as low as $15,848. That's $5,000 off. Finance for 36 months with 0% available. You'll also enjoy an available $500 trade rebate, plus an available $500 loyalty rebate. Don't forget a 10-year, 160,000-kilometer warranty. See Cross Mitsubishi in store for details. 9605 34th Ave and at crossmitsubishi.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:49. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Time to get to our playoff report, the push to the playoffs. Brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month is on now. Ooh, you're looking for a new truck? Well, how about stop in? You can get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025, any of the 2025 Sierra HD models. Stop in at any Alberta GMC dealer or go online at gmccanada.ca. So the race for the playoffs, as we outlined earlier in the West, the Oilers, tough loss last night as they are now Still 4 back of Vegas, but Vegas has a game in hand. Also, don't look now, but the Los Angeles Kings are 3 back of the Oilers with 2 games in hand. So it's getting close, even just for home ice in the first round again for the Edmonton Oilers. Meanwhile, the playoff race itself has Calgary 1 point up on Vancouver and St. Louis 3 up on Utah. In the East, the Ottawa Senators are currently hold down the number 1 wild card spot. They're pretty much I don't think they can catch Tampa, so they'd probably be locked into one of the wild card spots. And they have a 1-0 lead in Philly. Meanwhile, Columbus, they're getting spanked. They were 4 points back of the Devils. So a pretty big game tonight. Going head-to-head. They do have 2 games in hand on the Devils, but New Jersey comes out and they are spanking them early in that game, 3-0. So we'll see if they can regroup in the first intermission or not, but it's not a good start tonight for the Blue Jackets. Hey, how about Brad Marchand? He did skate with the Panthers today in Boston because the Panthers are on the road without Aaron Ekblad, who, of course, has been suspended for 20 games. And Oiler fans, good news on the out-of-town scoreboard. Through one period, the Penguins, Sidney Crosby has a goal, and they lead the Golden Knights 1-0. So Oiler fans probably rooting for a Pittsburgh victory tonight. Florida can gain some separation if they win, and the Lightning lose as they are trailing Carolina 1-0. The other game that kind of matters, I think, for the Oilers, because there's a chance Edmonton could still win their division. If they do, then that means they'd probably get the number 1 wild card spot, which looks to be the Minnesota Wild. And the Wild, if they have any hopes of catching Colorado, they probably got to win tonight as they host the Avalanche. Congratulations to Nathan McKinnon, who last night scored his 1,000th career point, and now he has a 5-point lead on Leon Draisaitl in the Art Ross scoring race. Draisaitl, when you come to season awards, he still has a 10-goal lead for the Maurice Richard Trophy. 46 for Draisaitl, 36 for Nylander, 35 for Scheifele. And Alex Ovechkin, who's only played 48 games, is fourth with 33. And the Great Eights chase for the Great Ones record continues on. And that'll be something to watch. He's down to 9 goals? Ooh, mama. And they're in Anaheim tonight, the late game, maybe, if you're looking on the out-of-town scoreboard to watch. Ovi and the Ducks, quack, quack. I think these final few games are going to be very exciting for fans. What now? I wonder when Gretz starts going around like Gordie Howe did for Gretzky. Is it when he gets within 5? Probably, right? Like 6 goals in a game is pretty unlikely. So is 5, but you get to 5, you never know. So maybe that's when he'll start following around for all that. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. If you missed any part of the show, go to sports1440.ca or jasongregor.com. You can get the podcast or the individual interviews there. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. We got more Order Talk tomorrow. We'll talk a little NBA as well. SGA, the Canadian, could be the second Canadian to win the MVP. It's looking like it. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire, and they ensure that 100% of their vehicles have properly aligned wheel. Wheel alignment extends the life of your tires, which lowers the carbon footprint of your vehicle. Read more about Fountain Tire's ESG initiatives at fountaintire.com. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Busy night in the NHL. The following games are at the first intermission. Dmitry Kulikov has the Panthers on top of the Bruins 1-0. Devils lead the Jackets 3-0. Sens have a 1-0 lead over the Flyers. Golden Knights on the road trail the Penguins 1-0, and the Kings lead the Lightning 1-0 midway through the first. That's Jarvis Shorty, his 26th of the season. Later tonight, got the Avs taking on the Wild. Jets host the Rangers. Canucks hosting the Montreal Canadiens. Capitals in Anaheim. Kings take on the Islanders, and the Preds travel to San Jose. In the association, 3 games underway already. Nets on top of the Cavs, 53-41. The Pistons have a 51-42 lead over the Wizards, and it's early with the Bucks trail the Pacers 23-21. One game this evening, 6 o'clock start. Pelicans taking on the Clippers. If you're looking for some AJHL action, Fort and Mac against the Camrose, and the Thunder hosts a Storm. Both those games start at 7 o'clock. In the PWHL, 1 game tonight after 20 minutes. Ottawa leading Minnesota 1-0. Some news from around the NFL today. Kansas City signing cornerback Christian Fulton to a 2-year deal worth $20 million. DeAndre Hopkins leaves the Chiefs. He will be going to the Baltimore Ravens on a 1-year deal. All-pro returner Kevontae Turbin, who is set to become a restricted free agent, signs a 3-year extension with the Dallas Cowboys worth $18 million. And free agent quarterback Daniel Jones finalizing a 1-year, $14 million contract with the Indianapolis Colts. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio. Local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius. I'm Connor Halley. It's been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio